What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, folks. See, we have people joining us. Hello, Johnny. Hello, Steady Archer. I like that username. That's pretty cool. We're popping in and out. Some hanging out, some moving on. Business as usual. Looks like all of my technology is working the way it's meant to. All right. It is another humidity laden day, but that's good. I love summertime. So, what's good in the hood? I hope everybody's Monday is good. I know it's possible one of my buddies, one of my regulars, a pillar in TikTok, on TikTok, online, in social media, whatever you want to call it. He is not feeling well, or at least he was not feeling well a few hours ago. So thoughts go out to Danny. I hope he's doing well. If Danny does not stop by tonight, he will absolutely be missed. Hello, James. Who else is here who hasn't logged in? That's interesting. How's that work? Well, I guess, yeah. I guess if you're using the website, you can watch a live without logging in. So maybe it's a stalker. That would be interesting. All right, so let me get started. I do have a topic pilled out. I do have a topic picked out, and my Freudian slip actually came from thinking about the name of the topic while I was speaking, because it has the word ill in it. Jack and Jill, referring to that old nursery school rhyme. Jack and Jill went up the hill, etc., etc. But I don't remember the clean version of it. I remember like Andrew Dice Clay's version of it. Jack and Jill went up the hill, uh, both for to fetch a bucket of water, and then something really dirty, and Jill came back with a quarter, something like that. Oh, anyway. So, for those of you joining, please start tapping that screen to make the requisite noise so that the platform knows that we're here. We want to get up to 1,000 likes in like a couple of minutes, and then move on to 10,000 and 25,000 and 50,000 and 75,000 and 100,000. That's generally like how we like to roll. But the faster we get there, the better. That shows the platform that people are enthusiastic. So you need to have that happen. So we've got Steady Archer, Gene Favol. I'm saying that last name correctly. Dangerfield is back. Long Tall. Yeah, people are coming in. They're starting to stream in. So Dangerfield says, let me read it on my phone. It'll be easier. Dump never completes the 18-hole golf course. He's not interested in holes past 15. Oh, there you go. A clever two-liner. I like it. So I didn't officially start, or I didn't start the customary way. Welcome to Yoddah Live. I am Yoda, spelled Yoddah, because film studios are litigious, also referred to as Chocolate Yoddah. And today is Monday, August 4th, 2025. And Be Kind says, I laugh at the Texas governor, but really, who doesn't? Yeah. And it seems like finally the Democrats woke up and have decided to roll up their sleeves and get down and dirty. We'll see how that pans out, but at least there's an indication that politicians understand that we're tired of their bullshit. We're just tired of their bullshit, and we need them to start working. And not just working for their corporate overlords, which I understand that's the way America is structured, but like, think of the people once in a while, man. That's all we're asking for. Dangerfield says, I did your live more than any. Well, it says ant other, but I'm sure you meant to say any other. And is it did or dig with a G? That would be interesting. That I would like that. Because if it's dig, then it's actual praise. If it's did, then it's there you go, dig. That is actual praise. So I'll read it in its entirety now. Dangerfield said, I dig your live more than any other. That's excellent feedback. I appreciate that, Dangerfield. And very soon we'll start getting people up here. We got to get to 1,000 people at least before we can even consider that. And I know you folks, even with four of you in here, I know we can get up to 1,000 likes very quickly. So let's get to tapping. Let's get to rocking and rolling. Let's get to 1,000 likes right away. We're already past the 10-minute mark. You know, I've seen it many times where this small a crowd can get me to 5,000 in 15 minutes. But no pressure. It would just be nice if you did it. Autumn says hi. Hello, Autumn. Glad to have you here. And while you're tapping, remember to do the daily heart me, another way to goose the algorithm a little bit and let TikTok know that you like what you're hearing despite what you're seeing. I have on very festive colors today. I don't know, how would I characterize this? Sort of a teal, I guess. I don't know. I don't know the best way to describe it. Swims is out here sharing the live. Thank you very much, Swims. I appreciate that. Easiest, fastest way to share the live. I know I'm giving you so many tasks all at the same time. I appreciate that. Canine Fly. Canine Fly, thank you for the heart. And I know there's like several types of hearts. I forget which heart that is. Swims said, I enjoy your live. Thank you, Swims. I appreciate that. That's the kind of feedback that is music to my ears. I am a simple man, a man of constant sorrow. I seen trouble all my days. No, that's something else. That's a song. No, I do, like everybody, despite people who want to claim otherwise, I do enjoy praise. I do enjoy positive feedback. Of course, like every other human being that's functional, I want people to like me. So, anyone that gives me praise for what I do up here, I'm a happy camper. Didn't get much sleep. Um, so I'm kind of running on caffeine, but that's all right. Kind of used to that. Oh, I'm adorable. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, got to figure out how to play the game. You got to play to your strengths. and I have a short list, so I gotta play to my strengths. Well, Dangerfield is asking interesting question for some reason. Here we go. Why do we outsource 15,000 jobs if it's America first? I assume that's what you were going. Yeah. America first is a lovely slogan, but that's what it is. It's a slogan, you know. It's part of the propaganda that makes up most of what's happening in America. Like as far as like I worded that really awkwardly. Basically what I'm trying to say is America relies heavily on propaganda for its identity. America's identity doesn't come from the reality of America. It comes from the perception of America, and propaganda is what shapes that perception. So all of that, we're the greatest country in the world and we are exceptional and best country in the world to live, all that stuff. None of that is borne out in the facts. And you can be proud of, you know, being born here if you want to be. I don't understand why that would be a reason to be proud of anything. The coincidence of your birth, you were born where your parents lived. That's not your own accomplishment, right? So I don't understand why people are proud to be XYZ, whatever it is, whatever country thing they identify themselves with. It doesn't mean anything. Your nationality doesn't mean anything. Being proud of your nationality is goofy to me. You had no hand in being what you are. Oh, but my culture loves kittens, and my culture loves food, and my culture loves music. Welcome to the party, pal. Everybody loves that stuff. Oh man, let's see. Dangerfield said he meant to say 15 million jobs, and I'm opening a dog bordello for extra money. uh, Now, as far as opening a small business, that's good stuff. And what do I want to talk about tonight? Well, the title of tonight's event is called Jack and Jill. This live event, Jack and Jill, and I'm alluding to men and women, and I'm hoping that some more women get here before I launch into this completely, because otherwise, you know, there's no chance to get feedback on the subject. But that's what I want to talk about tonight. And there's one scenario that I want to create and get feedback from women about the scenario. I've done this many times. Canine Fly, your real name is Mary Ellen. Excellent. So I'm going to go ahead and assume you're a woman. So that's good. And yeah, so, I mean, eventually I'll talk about it regardless of how many people are here. But obviously, if I can get a slightly bigger audience, that would be good. But I don't need a bigger audience. It's just I know some of the regulars usually start showing up at around the half hour mark. Let's see. Maybe I'll reach out to a couple people. So as a reminder, um, to share the live, um, best thing to do is put your finger right over my face on the screen, right about the middle of the screen, and uh, your friends list will pop up, and the word send will be to the right of their name. At least that's how it works on Android. And you can just go down the list, sending, 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 sending. What's really funny is whenever I'm doing a live, I usually get 3 or 4 people sharing my live with me, which I get a kick out of. But just share it out to I think it's up to like 30 or 40 people, something like that. And if you have any group chats set up in in the app, you can send to groups all at once. So that's cool, you know. So yeah, just let people know we're here. Let people know we're doing the do. I'm sending out the live in a couple of private messages right now, just for people. And by the way, for anyone that wasn't here on Friday, Jeannie blessed us with a magical a cappella performance of Creep and by Radiohead, for those of you who don't know. And I isolated that and made a clip out of it. If you go to my link tree near the bottom, you'll see something like a special performance by Jeannie, and you'll be able to watch that. Well, it's no real video. It's just I made it in video format so I could post it. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-bow, ba-dum-ba-ba-dow. Ba-dum-ba-ba-ba-dum-ba-bow, ba-dum-ba-ba-dow. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-bow. What is that? Frankenstein by Mountain? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-bow, ba-dum-ba-ba-dow. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-bow, ba-da-ba-ba-da. Gail, hello. How you doing? Good to see you. All right. I've sent it to a few people. I know, depending on your time zone, could be just finishing dinner, or you have a list of 500 things that are more important than my goofy live. You know, you know. So, yeah, so the subject is represented by the title Jack and Jill. I'm alluding to men and women. And in just a few minutes, I'm going to lay it all out. It won't take long to do, but I want to get feedback from women on this question that I have. It's a question that I've asked probably a couple hundred women. I'm always interested in the answer. I've asked this question in real life. I've asked this question online, and I don't think I've ever made content specific to it because it is interactive. And maybe tonight will be the first time that I'll have content about it. And it'll work through chat, but it would be better if I could invite some people up. Um, and I'll start with women, but um, I certainly would be interested in what men have to say about it as well. So I didn't mention this earlier. I have a live goal of 34 some type of heart. I forget which one I have up there. Um, let's see, which one do I have up there? I think it's something like I love you heart or something like that. There's so many hearts. Oh, I heart you. I heart you. Yeah, that's what it is. What a weird thing to say. I heart you. Oh, wow. Canine Fly, thank you so much. And I see that Donna B also contributed to that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh man, you folks are amazing. All right, gonna put another live goal up there. How about maybe some roses? How'd that be? Put some roses up. Oh, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go with the heart theme. I'm gonna go with a heart puff. Do some of those as people come in. They could start doing that. So all right. So I'll probably have to repeat this, but let's start with the crowd that we have in here. We're already on for 25 minutes, so let's get to rocking and a rolling. Okay, so this is a question for the ladies, but of course anyone can answer. And if anyone wants to come up, there's usually boxes on the screen that say request, but sometimes they don't show up, and I don't know I don't know why. I don't know what makes the difference, but if there's no boxes on the screen that say request, right next to the comment box, there's an icon with a red person and a blue person overlapping. And if you click that, I think it's either multi-guest or guest or something like that, then you can come up. So we can start getting some folks up here. I clearly did not hydrate enough today, but that's okay. That is a first world problem when you live in the first world. All right, so we've got some new people in here. We've got Be Kind, or not. You might have been here for a minute, but I haven't acknowledged you. Hey, hi, Patricia Carol G. Sorry, is that IFE or LFE East? Maria Cherry, Mariachi. No, that's not how you. Maria or Mariah, I guess. Cherry. Patty, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, folks. Okay. All right. So, and remember, one last time, well, for now, one last time, if you haven't done the Daily Heart Me, please have at it. That's another way to shake up the algorithm. We're getting up there, 4,600 likes. Keep tapping away. You all are doing splendidly. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you for the heart. All right. It's Carol. Canine Fly. All right. This is spectacular. You folks are wonderful. And Dangerfield, thank you for the cowboy hat. All right. So here's the scenario. It's actually kind of simple, but I think it sparks thought. It's always sparked conversation, sometimes even controversy. Sometimes women have gotten pissed off at me, although I've never figured out why that is, but it has happened. So, all right. So here's the deal. You are in a relationship with a significant other. Normally, I couch it as, a woman and her man, but it probably doesn't matter, right? Whatever the configuration is of your relationship, your significant other. You've been together a year or less, and that's important. I don't want this to apply. I don't think you could build this scenario reasonably with a long-term relationship. So I like to create that parameter of a year or less, right? So here's the question. If you say, I love you, to your significant other, is it okay for that person to like you? Again, a year or less, you love them, they like you. Is that okay? If yes, why? If no, why? You can either type it out in the chat or you can come up and talk about it. And again, either you will see on the screen boxes for requesting up, or you will see right next to the comment box an icon with a blue and red person overlapping. If you click on that, that will enable you to request up. So, any answers? What do you think? People are probably furiously typing. That's no, no, no. All right, let me back to the screen so I can see what people are typing in, or if people are typing. Bam, 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 bam. I'll give you a little background music while you think. Ba-dum, bam, bam, ba-dum, bam, bam, ba-dum, bam, ba-dum. I don't know why that song is in my head, but it just is, and it's never a wrong time for that song. Oh, so interesting take, Canine Fly. And what did you say? Is it Mary Ellen? Am I remembering that right? My short-term memory is for shit. I don't pay attention to people's names most of the time. Oh, anyway. But okay. So, yes, Mary Ellen. Okay, I did remember that correctly. Oh, I'm kind of proud of myself. So, at least they are being honest. That's an interesting way to phrase that. So it doesn't answer the question whether it's a bad or good thing. It's sort of a consolation of, well, at least they're being honest. So if you could maybe expand on that and let me know. Carol G. So I don't think a person needs to say they love someone if they don't. Liking is okay. All right. Be Kind says, the liker will be the don't liker after the lover gets his/her feelings hurt. I like that phrasing. That's interesting. So what you're assuming, if I might, and please, if I get this wrong, uh, please correct me. You're saying that there will be a negative consequence. You're assuming there will be a negative consequence to saying I like you in response to I love you. And so why would the person who says I love you get their feelings hurt? I think that's an interesting proposition, and you're stating it as if it's obvious and absolute. Nothing wrong with that, of course, but I wonder why you are convinced that that is the outcome. This is why I love this question, because it goes in so many directions and it really takes on a life. So, Dangerfield says, been married 48 years, wake with fingerprints around my neck, feathers in my nose, taste of zinc. Okay. If someone just likes, the feelings are not as strong as someone who, as those who love someone's. Why did you say just likes? Why do you think liking is diminished? Because I didn't say they just like them. I said they like them. So I'm always interested when someone throws in just likes. They just like them. Why is a goodly feeling towards someone else inadequate? By the way, almost always I get that comment, just likes. Why do they just like her? Jennifer says, because the like person doesn't feel the same as the love person, why do people need to feel the same way all the time? Like is less than love. How do you know that? And how so? Not Dustin. Dustin, I assume you're a man, and I'll read your answer. I'll just tell whoever I want I love them. The reaction to that isn't in my control. Yeah, I agree. So Dustin, sorry. So Dustin, when you've said I love you, and I'm assuming, well, actually, this is not a correct assumption. So I'll start by asking you: has anyone responded to "I love you" with "I like you"? That's I need to know that. Jennifer, because we have personal experience. Who's we? I like my boss, but I love my family. Okay. I've known people who say I love my boss. I'm not quite clear what that means. Jennifer, I think your answers are too involved for chat. I would love you to come up because I love the fact that you have a lot of ideas on this, and I know in chat it's so difficult to express yourself. So if I can, I'll invite you up. You don't have to come up if you don't want to, but I think it would be easier to facilitate the exchange. And it looks like Jennifer has taken me up on my offer. Hello, Jennifer. How you doing?
Hi, good. How are you?
I'm excellent. So, all right. So let's start at the beginning. So, what was your first answer to what does it mean? I love you, and the response is I like you.
So my first answer was that love is a stronger feeling than like.
Okay. How do you know that?
Personal experience. So I
So
like
meaning to
people that I
you,
know.
to
Hmm.
you, love is strong. So
Yep.
let's not talk about anybody else but you, because we're not here to represent other ideas. That's not going to work. So for
Okay.
you, you feel that when there's a difference with like and love is stronger than like, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So is that absolute for everyone, do you think? Do you think that if that it's possible that someone can feel like as strongly as you feel love?
Mm, I'm gonna say I don't know because
All right,
um
that's an excellent answer.
I just don't know everybody's.
Right. So that answer leaves it in the realm of possibility, right? It's
Sure.
since
Yep.
you don't know it's possible. So that's good. That's a good place to be. So what else are your thoughts on that? So because you made another comment, but I'm not remembering what it was. But so what else do you think about that?
Um. So as for
Oh, you know what? Let me ask a better question. Have you been in this
okay.
scenario? Have you been in the place where you said I love you and the response was I like you? Or no response at all?
Ne- Never verbally. I've
All right.
had
Right.
the feeling and experience of somebody else not feeling the same.
So not reciprocating the verbal
Yeah.
thing, right? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have been in that scenario. So when you said I love you, and by the way, was this in a relationship that was less than a year old?
Yes.
Okay,
It
because I
wasn't,
think I
and it,
think
and
that's
it, and it
significant.
wasn't in a romantic relationship either. It
Oh,
was
interesting.
somebody
That
that,
you know what? I
yeah,
didn't add that as a factor, but that is meaningful. And Dangerfield, I'll bring you up a little bit later. So I'm glad you mentioned that because I didn't specify that. I assumed that, and that was careless on my part. So yeah, the underlying assumption is that this is a romantic relationship, but in your case, it wasn't. So how did it feel in a
right.
non-romantic relationship to say "I love you" to someone and they didn't reciprocate?
So, okay, so I wasn't clear enough with my explanation. I didn't say it, but I felt it. And my behavior was um pronounced to like expressive
So you
to those
feel that
terms.
your actions uh,
Yeah.
would strongly suggest to this person that you felt love for them,
Yeah.
but you didn't say it.
Nope.
Okay, gotcha,
Because their
gotcha. I
actions
love
were
this. This
on
is
a
so
different
good.
level.
Their actions were what?
On a different level.
Meaning
They
what?
were not the same.
Not the same as
Not
yours.
as strong. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
so this leads me to a question because I've never had this scenario before. So this is great. I love this. I'm so glad I asked this question. So why didn't you say that you love them when you felt it?
Because I could tell from their behavior around me that they they were not feeling the same types of feelings that I was.
So why would that matter? If you felt it,
Because
why would it matter how they
uh-huh,
felt in order for you to express what you felt?
because it hurts your feelings for somebody to not feel like the same level. Like you want to you have feelings of romantic intentions for somebody
Oh, so
and
your
they
feelings were
don't.
romantic, but you weren't in a
Hmm.
romantic relationship. Okay, this adds
Right.
another layer. I love it. So, by the way, what you're describing is a breakdown in communication. What you did, and this is not an accusation, this is an observation, and there's no judgment
Hmm.
behind what I'm going to say. What you did is you let fear prevent you from expressing yourself.
Yeah, 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 that's true.
So,
Because I didn't want my feelings to get hurt, and then I didn't want to be
sure,
embarrassed.
sure. And I'm gonna pull out a Shakespeare quote that is 100% perfect for this. I can kind of remember it, but I don't want to fuck it up because it's Shakespeare and I will not fuck up the bard's work. Come on. Okay. Oh, it's in the Smithsonian. So, and I'm going to tell you a story about this quote after I read it. Our doubts are traitors and make us lose the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. So you lost because you never attempted, right? Like if you never said the thing, you never got to find out what would have happened if you said the thing. And of course, you can't saw the sawdust.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can't fix this. This is not about that, right? And it's not about feeling bad
Yeah.
about it. It's just understanding where where all this stuff leads, because here's what happens very often. Let's say I was coaching you right now. If I was a shitty coach, what I would say to you, and I'm not a shitty coach, I'm an excellent coach, and if I was a shitty coach, what I would say to you is, well, you just need to communicate, because that's what a lot of shitty coaches tell people. Oh, you just need to communicate. Hey Blue,
Yeah.
what's happening? Glad you're here. So and I'm going to repeat the scenario for you because I don't know if you heard the whole thing, but and I'm talking to Blue right now, by the way. So um, this is what marriage counselors tell couples. This is what therapists tell people, psychiatrists tell it, and it's absolutely dog shit advice. Well, just communicate better. You got to learn to communicate. You got to learn to communicate. What the fuck does that mean?
That's
Right?
not helpful.
Like, we are not born masters of communication on an adult level. We are born at of communication in terms of, like, I'm uncomfortable, I'm going to scream when I'm an infant. I'm scared, so I'm going to scream when I'm an infant. You know, I'm gonna rattle stuff around because I'm frustrated because I don't have the words for it, right? But we know how to
Yeah.
communicate. We like infants and toddlers communicate with each other all the time without ever speaking a word. They play together, they organize, they function very well without the spoken communication. But then when you're older, the expectation is you're going to use your words, but nobody fucking teaches you how to do it, right? They just
Yeah.
keep telling you to do it. Oh, communicate, communicate, communicate. All right, help me the fuck out. you know, so why well, no, let me ask a better question. And this is completely speculative because we'll never know. But what do you think? Nah, you know what? I don't even want to ask that question. Do you think it's possible that the object of your affection and your romantic intent was feeling the same exact way you were and was equally as afraid to say it?
I I don't think so, and the reason is because they were behaving more of what I would expect towards other people.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Was this a man or a woman?
It was a man.
Okay. Women don't understand men at all.
Nope. Nope. We're confused by each other.
You don't know. Well, I'm not confused by women. That's why I get you guys easily. But
Okay, you're one of the few.
but most men and most women are confused by one another. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
And the thing is that here's what where the mistake happens on both sides. This is why, like, I enjoy hanging out with men. I like being with women in relationships that are romantic. I don't like hanging out with women because I have different sensibilities than women do. And I want to hang out with people that have the same sensibility as me. That doesn't mean I need people to agree with me on everything. That doesn't mean that I need people to like everything that I like. It just means that there's this language that I can speak to men that makes it easier for me to hang out with them, right? And if I have to hang out with women, then I have to augment or change my language. I might be being redundant there. I have to augment my language in order to effectuate better communication. And this is the mistake that men and women both make, is that if you're a man, you are missing the way that women communicate because you only know how men communicate. And if
Mhm.
you're a woman, you're missing how men communicate because you only understand how women communicate. Right. So even though you evaluate it, and by the way, you could be 100% right. Of course, I wasn't there. I don't know. But the fact that you concluded that he wasn't into you the same way you were into him could have been mistaken, right?
Mhm.
Like, you could have misread that. In fact, very often a guy will act all relaxed and cool with everybody else except the person he's into. They act all weird and different around that person, right?
Mhm.
So, like, that stuff, that weirdness that you were feeling, that energy that you were picking up on, actually could have been telling you the opposite of what it seemed, right? So, and of
Yeah.
course, we can't do anything about that one, but I'm telling you all of this for the future,
Yeah.
right? So if you're ever in this situation again, first thing is, like we heard someone say it earlier, if I love someone, I tell them, and whatever happens, happens. I love that strategy. I believe in that wholeheartedly. Like, I had a very long conversation with my second ex-wife about this topic. And we talked about this somewhere around 2013, 2014, because it occurred to me. I thought to myself, when I love someone, that is for me. The feeling that I have of love for another human being resides in me. I benefit from that feeling. I enjoy that feeling. It's nice if that
Hmm.
person feels that I feel that, right? But that's secondary, and what's amazing to me about love is that it's easy. And here's what I mean by that. You ever heard anybody said, I worked so hard to be in love? Or I struggled for
No.
years to be in love? Or, I did my research to be in love? Or, I read 15 different books to be in love? No, what does everybody say? I
No.
fell in love,
Yeah.
right? It's like, oops, I'm in love, right? Because it's to me, if we know scientifically that hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe, I say neck and neck with it is love. It's the easiest thing. We are literally wired through our entire bodies to love. No one ever has to teach us how to love unless we're like somehow organically dysfunctional or something like that, or something's wrong with our brain or whatever. But if we're just like regular humans, loving is easy. Think of the 1,000 different things you've said you loved in your life. I've said I love cereal. I love this. I love what, like, I love ice cream, like, because I'm a fat guy. So there's a long list of food shit that I love, right? So,
Yeah.
but,
But we're
you
also
know,
hyperbolic too, though. We say a
right.
lot of words that are not necessarily what we
When I say I love ice cream, I mean that shit.
mean.
But
Yeah, I got a lot of
anyway,
food that I love.
yeah, yeah, listen, but because it's just, I mean, from a design level aspect, we are meant to love. I mean, think of all the people, whether it's a list of 5 or 5,000, it doesn't even matter. Like, there is no quota on how many people you can love. There is no quota on how many things you can love. Nobody ever walks up to somebody else and goes, "Hey, hey, I think you're loving too much." Right? Like, hey, you love too many people, man. You got to stop that shit. Right? Because it's just an unwritten understanding that, yeah, man, it's so abundant and just so ubiquitous that you can just say I love you to a whole bunch of shit. I mean, I just watched Anchorman again, because we just passed the I think the 21st anniversary of the film. And there's one scene where Steve Carell, who plays Brick, was saying, I love carpet, I love lamp. And someone asked him, do you really love lamp, or are you just saying that? you but nobody ever questions it. If you say I love this, that, or the other thing, or I love this, that, or the other person, no one ever questions that. Nobody says, are you
Hmm.
sure you're not loving too much? Are you sure you haven't exhausted all the love you have? Because it's infinite, right? But anyway, let me stay up here if you like. I'm going to also bring in um, Dangerfield because he's been waiting patiently. But I love this conversation. I really appreciate what you brought to it, because you made me consider things that I've never thought of before on this topic. And I've been talking about this for a long time, so that's a rare thing to happen. Dangerfield, how are you?
Okay, for the first week we were together, none of us said I love you. And then after that first week, we both did. I don't know, maybe if she had somebody in her past that she was thinking of, or I had somebody in my past that I was thinking of. But after a week, we said I love you. 3 months later, we got engaged. 3 months after that, we got married 3 times. But by the justice of the peace in the Greek Orthodox Church and in the Catholic Church. Get this, okay? So here we are 48 years later. And I tell her, honey, I love you. And she says, leave me alone.
Yeah.
But I know she loves me. So
Blueberry, request up when you can. I can't ask you up for whatever reason. She said BRB. She's probably changing her settings because she does that in order to get up. Well, I was just watching last night. I made a post about this. I was watching Michelle Obama not only imitate Barack Obama but make fun of him. And the way she did it was like, yeah, we'll be sitting around the table and he'll be like, so, Leah, how was your day? What'd you do today? What was good? And, Malia will answer the question and then, well, Dad, how was your day? And he goes, I've got 3 points to discuss about that. Point one is, and so here she is making fun of one of the greatest speakers in human history. And I was like, yeah, it's just like the dude with the hot chick that's just tired of being with her, because like, there's that old saying, familiarity breeds contempt, right?
I
And it
can't
just
tell you
means,
how many, I cannot tell you how many letters I sent to Michelle Obama to please run in 2024.
why? Why would we need her to
Because
run for
she
president?
had, don't you think that he discussed virtually everything with her?
I don't know. Probably not,
I would
because some of
assume
them were
so
state
because
secrets, but so what? She
they were a
discussed
tight
things. She
couple.
discussed things with her. So what?
Yeah,
Why
so
why
they
are
were a
we
tight
why are we
couple, and
going
she's,
down the celebrity road to
oh
presidency?
no,
Haven't
it's
we
not
learned our
Celebrity
lessons
Road.
about that? She's a celebrity. That's all she
It's
is. Sh
qualifications.
what
In the
qualifications does she
19
have?
Okay, well, she's of course got degrees galore, but
Okay.
in the 1980s, I was working in Trump Tower with my brother. I was teaching at Lewis College in Detroit. It was a black school, and I was teaching Lewis College in Detroit. And the summers I had off, and I'd go work with my brother in New York
Okay,
City.
shorten this story, please. Get to the point.
Okay, real quick. I go upstairs. We're supposed to put in a fire suppression system into Trump Tower. Uh, we get all the equipment
You
in,
told this
bring it
story
into
the
the
other night.
building.
You had to take it down. Okay, what does this have to do with Michelle Obama?
Yeah, and we never got paid.
Okay.
Okay, so in other words, my choice would have been definitely been her over
My
him.
question to you, which nothing that you've said so far answers, is why Michelle Obama? What is her
Oh, because
qualification
I
to be
love her.
president?
I gotta tell you, I do love her.
Okay.
She's a very intelligent woman. She answers questions perfectly. I mean, it's not like talking to the big Cheeto. It's like talking to a human being.
So a
Oh, by
woman
the way, I've
practiced
spoken
in
to
answering
her.
questions, answers questions well. I agree with you.
Yeah,
What does
I've
that have to
spoken to
do
her
with
as
being
well.
president? What are her qualifications
Yeah.
for president?
Well, what is what
Because
is
you know
being a
what? Dwayne
TV
The Rock
star?
Johnson answers questions amazingly. Is
Yeah,
he
but
qualified to be president too?
what does being a TV star have to do with
And what is
becoming
and I
president? I
would
don't
ask the
get it.
same question about being the wife of a president. What does that have to do with being qualified to be president?
You know what? They sort of came up together. You think that one would rub off the other?
There are
That was
twins that are raised in the
just my
same
opinion.
household, and one of them goes out on a serial unaliving spree. You know, the evil twin concept. They were raised in the same house, but they didn't come out the same. So again,
Aha.
this
See,
is
I knew there was something about Barack.
there's no evidence that you're providing me that suggests that she's qualified to be president.
Well, I was just, that was my hope. That's all it is.
Yeah, and this is what
But
this is what Americans need to get over, which is this celebrity worship shit. Like, we like
oh, she
her,
wasn't a
that's great.
celebrity.
She is a celebrity.
I guess to you, to me, she was just
What do you mean to me?
the
You
the
don't
the
think she's a
president's
celebrity?
wife.
What do you think a
Nah.
celebrity is?
Oh, did you ever go to one of her book signings?
What do you think a celebrity is?
I don't know. I went to one of her book signings.
Okay,
She
so
talked
I'll
to me
tell
for
you what it
five
is,
minutes.
because and then we're going to get off this because this is boring me. A
All right,
celebrity
so
is
I'm gonna
someone who's
leave then.
well known and well liked. That's what a celebrity is. She is well known and well liked,
Yeah,
and
I
we have
never
to
thought
we
of her
have
as
to
that.
stop. That's fine. We have to stop wanting people to be president just because we know them and we like them. There has to be more of a college. And by the way, I have said this for every celebrity that people have proposed to. Oh, let's have Dwayne the Rock Johnson be president. Why? Let's have
Oh
so
yeah,
and
they're
so.
talking about what's his name from late night. What is it?
John
Um,
Stewart.
Jon Stewart. I says, get out of here.
I
You
love
know,
John
he
Stewart. I
thought he's
think
going
he's one of the
crazy.
most amazing human beings in the world.
He is,
But
but he has no
now he
politics.
knows a lot about politics, but that doesn't mean he's qualified to be president. You know what I mean?
I
So
know.
like,
I'm
like
just grasping
Dump
at
is the
straws.
only president in American history that never had governmental experience or military experience, because normally they
Well,
have one, the other, or both, and he had neither. And how'd that turn
during
out
his
for us?
first during his first his first run, he had Mitch McConnell telling him what to do. Now he's got Stephen Miller, and Mitch McConnell doesn't want to have anything to do with him, which
Okay.
is a shame because Mitch at least had some practice. He knew what he was talking about.
All right, excellent. So, do you have any
Okay,
further
goodbye for
thoughts on
me.
the topic?
No, no further thoughts.
Okay, so you said you've been together for 38 years? 48.
48.
48. Okay. So it's interesting. I made a post earlier and I'm going to read it so that I'll make sure I get it right. Cuz I bet you. I am not a gambling man, but I bet you I would be willing to bet money that every time
Oh,
you
not gonna
say
cost.
hold on. That every time you tell someone we've been married 48 years, they say, "Oh, that's amazing," or "Congratulations," or something like that, right? Oh, I think you got a
Yeah.
phone call. Yeah, you. Okay, so check out what I posted earlier. This was earlier
Oh
today.
shit! I lost the page. Oh, here you are.
Okay. This is what I said earlier. By the way, I'll read this to you so you don't have to, but I said when someone tells me someone has passed away, I don't automatically give my condolences. I ask, were you close? When someone tells me they've been with their partner for decades, I don't automatically congratulate them. I ask, do you like each other? You might be surprised by some of the answers I've gotten to those questions. So, and here's why. Here's why. It's going to sound like a funny thing, like funny weird, but this is a real thing. The reason I don't congratulate someone when they tell me we've been together 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, I don't care how long they tell me. I don't say, oh, that's amazing, congratulations. I say, do you like each other? It's because, first of all, I've gotten no to that question very often. No, we don't like each other. We're together just because we're afraid to be alone or whatever it is, right? But also, the real reason that I don't do that, the main reason, is a lyric from Culture Club sung by Boy George. He sang,
Okay, I know.
"Time won't give me time, and time makes lovers feel like they've got something real. But you and me, we know we've got nothing but time." Jennifer, what do you think of that lyric?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
I think that is a very interesting lyric because to me it says, oh, so I'm a thinker also, but to me it says he's saying we have a lot of time, so they don't have to, or he doesn't have to uh press to do something that the other person might want him to do. So he can it's either good or bad. He can take his time or he can drag it along.
That's an interesting take. I took it literally. When he says, you and me, we know we've got nothing but time, means that he doesn't love her. He doesn't feel anything for her. He might not even want to be with her. The only thing they have is the time that they've been together.
See, to me, it means that my wife married the ugliest guy she could find, and she's been happy as hell, and so have I.
That's an
I
interesting
think
take on
that's the
those
secret.
lyrics. But what do you think about those lyrics and my
Ah,
strategy for not like
they can apply.
do you believe that there are people together for other reasons besides that they love and care about each other?
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, there's people in business together too.
Forget about business. Who cares about that? We're not talking about that. For
Well,
interpersonal
maybe
relationships, because
monkey
I
business.
need to wrangle you in so you don't go in all sorts of directions. So so for people that are in a relationship, you know, you want to call it committed, long term, whatever it is, are they always together because they love each other, or can there be other reasons? And before we get into that, hi Autumn, how you doing?
Hey Yoda, hi. I'm doing okay.
Excellent, excellent. So have you been? I don't know how long you've been here.
I've been popping in and out, but I did not catch the tail end of this specific
Okay,
conversation.
cool. So I'll wrap it up for you a little bit later on. But so what do you think about that, Jennifer? Are people only together because they love each other, or are there other reasons at play?
Tons of other reasons.
Right.
Kids, situational,
Money.
whatever, money.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, you know what I found interesting? And the first time I noticed this, I'm sure this has happened many, many times, but right after 9/11 was a huge spike in divorces. But you know what else? Marriages.
Makes sense.
And you know what I realized about that? This is what I thought. I don't know if I'm right. This is what I assume that those statistics mean. In both cases, people thought to themselves, let's not waste any more time.
Yep. Life is
So
too short.
some couples got divorced, some people got married, but they did so for the same reason, right? I've always like been fascinated by that. And yeah, I agree with you. Like there's a lot of people like, you know, let's face it, if there's a primary breadwinner, the person that isn't the breadwinner sometimes is stuck because they have no resources to go out on their own. And that's a really unfortunate situation. But people stay for that. People stay for familiarity. People stay out of laziness. People stay just to stay. People stay for fear of being alone. Like there's so many reasons. So that's why when someone says, oh, I've been together 50 years, I'm not going to congratulate them right away. I have no fucking idea what that means. You know, that's why I always ask, do you like each other? Because you'd be amazed at how someone's face changes when you ask that question and they realize, oh, you're not just going to say congratulations like everybody else does, and now I have an opportunity to say the truth that I hate this motherfucker.
I just say, wow, that's a long time.
There you go.
See
There
if
you
they can
go.
respond if they want to.
That's right, and they can infuse whatever meaning they want into that. I love that. That's a very clever response. I do that too. You know, you just remind me of my second favorite joke from Michael Keaton's first film. This is going back to like 80, 81, 82, around there. It's with Henry Winkler. The film is called Night Shift. And Henry Winkler's character, who's a very mousy dude, very quiet, very like, don't want to cause any trouble type of dude. He has a picture frame on his desk with his fiance, in the photo, and she is, by classic standards, not a particularly attractive woman. So when he shows Michael Keaton the photo, he goes, "Nice frame." And I always love that. That's a great non-committal answer.
That's hilarious.
Steve Martin is joining us. Stephen Martin. Sorry, I don't want to shorten his name. Hello, Stephen. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, buddy. How are you?
I'm
Do me
great.
a favor, drop me because I can't figure out how to get out of here.
You got it. Take care. Have a great night. Always a pleasure having you up here. So for Autumn and Stephen, I'll catch you up on tonight's conversation. The title of this installment of Yoddah Live is Jack and Jill, because I was being very, very basic in alluding to relationships, right? Of course, it doesn't have, it could be any configuration of relationship. And here's the question that I asked based on this. So here are the parameters. It's a relationship that is a year or less. This does not apply to long-term relationships. It probably could, but this is the scenario that I've created. A year or less. You say, "I love you." The response is, "I like you." The question is that okay? Why or why not?
It has to be okay for me because I am very guilty of being the person who says I like you.
Okay, so you don't want to be a hypocrite. Okay.
I'm kind of a jerk sometimes about this. I like to tell them I'm fond of you.
Okay. But that, that's a strong word. Being fond of someone is a strong emotion.
Yeah, I get very weird. I don't know. I'm a child of divorced parents.
Yeah.
I am not big on relationships.
Right.
Especially romantic relationships. I'm, for lack of a better term, a Carrie Bradshaw-ish. I like to be around you for a while and then exit stage left.
Oh, you mean like a human? That's how humans are. But so, okay. So what I'm hearing is, and please correct me if I'm wrong. You might not have ever thought of it in these terms, but this is what I'm hearing. This is Coach Yoddah in action. You put up walls to keep people out,
correct?
but you didn't realize that when you keep people from getting in, you also can't get out.
I don't want to get out.
Bow, bow, wow, 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 da-dum, da-dum, da-da, da-da.
I don't want to get out. I don't want to get out.
That by the way, that music is The Wall from the album The Wall, from the song The Wall Part 1. Right? And the last line of that song is, "Mother, did it have to be so high?" Because he realized after he built the wall to keep himself safe and keep everybody from getting into him, he could not get out. Ow, wow, 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 wow. Anyway. Blue, what's up? How you doing?
Accurate. It sounds accurate for me.
Yeah. How you feeling, Blue? You worked out the tech issues?
I just give up. It's going to you now, though. So
all right, good. So before we continue with you, let me go to Autumn. Autumn, what do you think so far? What is your answer to my question? Is that okay? I love you. The response is I like you. Is it okay? If not, why? If yes, why?
I don't know that I feel comfortable leaning into the idea that it's okay or not, because it implies like that I have some moral feeling about it. What I like,
All right, so
I'm
I asked the question in a lazy way. So how do you feel about it for you?
I don't feel anything other than I don't know how it'd be possible. Like, because if you have someone who says, "I like you," then clearly that person who put themselves out there that says I love you is going to feel like maybe there's you know it's they're going to have to take themselves down a peg to the I
Let's not
like you
focus on how
level,
the other
right?
person reacts. Let's focus on
Sure,
you. So you say I love you. The response
right.
is I like you. What to you is problematic about that?
Oh, then it would be my feelings for them have to evaporate
Why?
because that is because love hurts when
No, it
you
doesn't. Love never hurts. But go ahead, keep going.
uh love love hurts
Love
when you
literally never hurts
can't
anyone and never has and never can. But we'll get to that in
when
a minute. We'll get to that because I'll prove
sure,
you wrong on that very easily. So,
sure.
so let's go back to you. You say I
Okay.
love you, they say I like you. You believe that your feelings of love have to evaporate. Why?
Big I'm assuming a romantic love, right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, because I would want to have that with a partner I can actually attain,
That's it?
right? Like if well, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you, right,
So let me ask you this.
sure.
Why are you so egotistical? And I'm only being tongue in cheek about this, but I'm trying to illustrate a point. Why are you
Right.
so egotistical that you think someone has to feel about you the way you feel about them?
Uh, I think it's the opposite of egotistical. I
It's
think it's
100% egotistical. If you're like,
oh,
you don't love me, so that's it. My love evaporates now. That's a nice way of saying go fuck yourself.
I don't know that romantic love works like that.
We're not talking. You already said you love them. And then what you said is if they don't love you at the same exact moment you love them, then that's it. Love is done. I'm out of here.
So, okay, I feel as though romantic love, like a, I feel like romantic love necessarily is mutual.
Okay, but now you're contradicting your stance though. If you know that it's
No,
not
no, I'm
mutual,
not.
why would it have to dissipate if they don't say I love you?
Because it's not mutual. So
So why
it
does it
needs,
have to be? We're back to my question. Why do you think that someone has to love you the moment you love them?
I, I think, I don't know that it works like that. I think it has to like line up.
Why?
Well, because if it doesn't line up, then you don't get together, I guess.
You're already together.
Oh, oh, I didn't know that part. I assumed
Remember,
that two
I
people.
said you've been in a relationship less than a
Oh, no,
year, right?
sure.
But even if you're not
Okay,
together, even if you're not together,
right,
okay? Because I appreciate this wrinkle in the question. Let's say you're not, you have these feelings. You're not
right,
in a relationship yet. You're not in a
right,
romantic relationship yet. Obviously, you're in a relationship because you know them and you're interacting with them, hopefully. Um, and you come out and say, I love you, and they say, I like you. Why can't you proceed? Why do they have to have the same exact feeling that you do in that moment? Isn't it possible that maybe a week or a year or at some time down the road, they will feel the same way that you do?
yeah, I guess I don't really have a problem with it. Um, Now that
This
you
is
put
why
it
I'm
like
so good
that.
at sales. You see how I did that, folks? How I just, boom, brought that right around?
Okay.
But
Well,
here's the thing that we have to all start to understand in order to make our lives easier with other people. Again, I'll say this because I said this earlier, and I don't think everybody was here for that. When I love someone, that feeling belongs to me and resides in me and benefits me. Like there's something that I wrote about my ex-wife. I think it was yesterday. Let me see. Da, 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 da. Okay. So, you know the song from Bruno Mars, uh, DIE with a Smile? Is everyone familiar with that song? It,
you'd have to start singing it.
well, yeah, it does, you know, I think the chorus is, you know, something about
I wanna hold
if the world was ending, I'd want to be with you, something like that, right? And as soon
just for
as,
a while.
yeah,
And
it,
Yeah, it's got
like
Lindsay Lohan in
literally,
it too.
literally I heard that song for the first time yesterday. Never heard it before.
oh,
And as soon as it got to the chorus where it says, if the world was ending, I would want to be with you, I started crying. And I started crying because I immediately thought of my ex-wife, but not in a sad way, in a happy way. That, you know, I love her so much and all this stuff. So this is what I wrote about that. I just heard DIE with a smile for the first time, started crying immediately, and shared it with my ex-wife, meaning I texted her. I was like, you know, I just heard the song and I thought of you. Here it is, right? And then I wrote, I'm so fortunate to have the love I feel for her and grateful that we have the kind of relationship where I can still share a moment like this with her, especially when that moment is completely because of her. So you see what I said there? I'm so fortunate to have the love I feel for her. That's what I was just explaining a moment ago, is the love I feel for her, the love that I feel for her is mine. It belongs to me and it resides inside of me. I benefit from the fact that I love her. Why would I insist that she feel the same exact way about me? When that feeling that she has is for her, it's always wonderful to hear someone say I love you. All right? Um but if I love them, I'm already benefiting. I already have this wonderful feeling that lives inside of me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I think it just probably must stem from how we engage in the our like our greetings, like our culture, I guess. It's just kind of we just do that. We say that, right? We say it and we expect to hear it. Damn
Yeah,
it.
but see that's to me, I'm so glad you brought up culture. American culture is dysfunctional. So I don't take my cues from a dysfunctional culture because I don't want to be dysfunctional. And so now that we've had this conversation, you'll understand my position is if I'm saying I love you to someone, all I'm doing is sharing how I feel, this benefit that I have, this beautiful feeling that I have inside of me. I'm just sharing it with someone else. This is how I feel. They are under absolutely no obligation to feel the same way about me that I feel about them. And we could be together for the rest of our lives with me loving them and them liking me. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it.
I
Blue, what do
think
you think?
I th
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your thought, Autumn.
okay, so I think the pushback on it, okay, I feel like if I say I love you, right? Like I also know that I could understand someone feeling disappointment and not hearing it back if that
So, but you see what you
person,
just did there? You started
wait,
talking
wait,
about yourself, then you switched to someone else.
no,
So finish that thought about you.
about me.
You started saying,
Um,
I feel if I said I love you, then how would you feel if they didn't say it back?
I would feel like their reasons to not love me don't line up
With what?
with my
Ego.
what I would with my ego. Right? Is that
Right.
it?
So
Yeah,
so
my
again,
ego.
so here's
Right.
the thing. That's a narrative. And another way of saying narrative is belief. That's just a belief that you have, right?
Right.
Now, I know for a fact that you have no idea when you created that belief. You just have had it for a long time. It might have come when you were a child. It might have come when you were a teenager. It might have come probably not later than when you were a teenager, maybe in your early 20s. But wherever it came from, it's just a belief that you have. And chances are you've never done what we're doing tonight, which is examining, does this belief make sense? Just because I
I mean,
have it, just because I believe something doesn't mean it's absolutely true. Doesn't mean it's
I
wrong.
have
Doesn't.
once.
Okay,
One time I have.
got
And
you.
it had to
But
do with
you're
a cat.
expressing what you believe right now, right? And so
Right.
this is what you believe right now. And basically, and again, not to pick on you in any way, but this is what we've heard so far. My ego is such that if you don't feel exactly about me the way I feel about you, then go ahead and go fuck yourself. Right?
Well, when you put it like that,
Doesn't sound good, but that is in essence what we're getting to, right? Like you have to feel how I feel, because otherwise there's something wrong. Because also in part of your answer, you said, well, if they don't love me, well, they didn't say I don't love you. They said that I like you. I like
okay,
you is a lovely thing to me, in my opinion. I like
okay,
being liked. In fact, I'll go a step further. I love my ex-wife more than any other woman I've ever known, and chances are that will never change. The reason why she's my ex-wife is because I don't like her. Not like that. I don't like her enough to live with her. I don't like her enough to be in a romantic relationship with her. But I could, if I liked her, we'd still be together.
yeah, I get that. Yeah. Well, in my defense,
Oh, you don't
I
have to
was
defend
raised
yourself. Nobody's
I,
attacking.
I was raised American.
Yeah,
So,
that's
you
unfortunate
know,
because it's a dysfunctional country.
right. But like I am non-practicing though.
I love it. Non-practicing American. I am too. I love that. I've never thought to describe
Me
myself that
too.
way, but I might be stealing that from now on. Um, yeah, look, I mean, we have a whole lot of ridiculous information. And now I'm going to do what I promised about 15 or 20 minutes earlier. I'm going to explain why love has never hurt you. Love can't hurt you. It literally, there's nothing about love that's hurtful. What we associate with love and hurt is either unrequited love, betrayal, the loss of love, right? Because someone could just pass away and you sort of feel like, oh, it hurts so much because I love that person. Yeah, you're right, but love didn't cause the hurt. The fact that they're not there anymore is what caused the hurt. So that's why I believe with all my heart and soul, love has never hurt anyone, nor could it possibly hurt anyone. It's the greatest feeling in the world. How could that possibly be hurtful? So, JK, how you doing?
I think
Hey,
what is heartbreak? Like, isn't that
You tell me, what causes heartbreak?
well when you still love someone but you can't do anything about it?
So the part that where you can't do anything about it is the part that's hurting you. It's not the fact that you love them.
I don't want to interrupt Autumn, but I don't have long to talk. I'm at work. That's why I
Ooh,
usually don't get in the box.
I got you.
Um,
Fire away, fire away.
the the parameters, I was sitting here trying to cut it down into parameters like, okay, you've only been together a year. If you only like me, you've still got time. If it's not
But
a
you're saying
serious
only,
relationship,
but you notice how you put in only, you put in that modifier, only like, that
well, like I
diminishes the
said,
word.
parameters.
I know, right.
No, it
And
does.
I'm just
It does.
illustrating for everybody what I'm thinking, which is you modify the word and it changes the meaning or the power behind that word. But go ahead.
And, if time is going on longer and you living together and, you thought you were going to get married and then the person still only responds, I like you, I don't love you.
There's that only
Then
again.
I believe it's a problem.
Yeah.
If you're early in a relationship,
Why would you
maybe that person
why do
hasn't
you
come
think
to
you
that.
would want to marry someone that likes you?
I
How is
wouldn't.
that
I would want
possible? How is it possible to want to marry someone that likes you?
because you really love them first.
Okay. So
It's delusional. I'm not gonna lie.
so if you love them and want to marry them and they haven't and they said I like you, what changes besides the story that you're making up about it?
It changes because it becomes reality that if
So
that is
it
your
was always
plan,
reality. It was always reality, but you still wanted to marry them. Why? How's that possible?
because you were stupid in love with them.
See how the modifiers and the judgments come in. This is how we sabotage ourselves by just making shit up. What's stupid about loving somebody?
If it's unrequited, it can be stupid.
How? How? What happens? Well, okay, I love them. They don't love me. What's stupid about that?
Well, if you're trying to form a long-term relationship,
Okay,
yeah,
so you don't get what you want. What's stupid about that?
I don't know how to put it into words. It seems like it's
Right,
a
but
useless emotion.
all what I'm trying to illustrate is that the story that we make up is always going to be more important than the thing itself. You know who else thought that? Willie Shakes. William Shakespeare, in the personage of Hamlet, said, "There is nothing good or bad, but thinking makes it so."
True,
Wow, wow, wow. I'm sorry. I'm just
true.
kidding. I'm doing a callback.
No, no, no. That does make sense though.
You know,
I'm one of those
very
suckers that
often
falls in love
when you
easy and
examine the
hard.
stories that you make up about stuff, you start to see how you might not be living in reality. You might be living in the story. And that's fine if it's working for you, but it's not fine if it's not working for you. And since
True.
you're going to make up shit anyway, because we're all going to make up shit about our lives, why not make up shit that works for you?
And on the hindsight, it's 2020 once you figure all that out. But when you're in the relationship, it's not always.
Well, yeah, that's another story entirely, of course. But that's why, that's why these conversations can be very useful. At least to me, they are.
I have a question. Um, how or not how, but my thought about not what Autumn said, okay, you don't feel the same way, get out or I'm leaving or whatever. My thought was like, I see other people doing the thing that I want to do. Like I see this relationship and I like it and I makes me happy and I think it's great and I want that. And if you don't, if somebody doesn't respond that way to you and you're like, oh, okay, well, this isn't that. This is what I want. This is what I wanted, but I'm not going to get that now. So almost like you're settling.
And that's all a narrative. Everything you just said is literally a narrative. It's just a belief system that is unexamined. And I guess JK had to go. Thank you so much, JK, for being up here as always. I love the fact that you come to the lives consistently. I appreciate your feedback on this subject. It was wonderful. But so yeah, this is what I have spent the last 38 years of my life. Well, almost 30. September 3rd is 38 years. This is what I've spent almost 38 years learning and becoming a master at. And the more I master it, the better my life has gotten. I'm happy most of the time. Now, it's important to throw in that most of the time, right? Because of course I feel every emotion that humans are privy to, right? And I think there's at least 1,100 of them. I feel them, okay? It's just a question of what do I do to manage those emotions? Because you can't stop yourself from feeling, you can't stop yourself from thinking, especially. So the question is, well, how do you manage that process? And as we've seen all night, the stories we tell ourselves can be very, very destructive. They can limit us in ways that we don't even understand.
But I think that for me specifically, I grew up without seeing that kind of relationship. And when I was grown, I got to visit my brother and his wife, and I saw a good relationship like that, and it made me happy. Like I couldn't stop smiling, and I told them, I was like, "This is great. I really appreciate, and it makes me happy to see what you guys are like together, right?" And so I don't feel like that's something that you shouldn't want, or that there's something wrong with wanting that,
Yeah, you're
because I
designed
actually
to want
seeing it.
that.
It's not like something that's made up, a fantasy or anything like that. You're seeing somebody else that has it, and you're like, "That's what I want." I love that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think we're wired for it. I think human connection is just the default setting for all humans. And I use a couple of indicators to illustrate that. One of the things that spiked dramatically during the lockdown was depression. We saw an increase of 34% of prescriptions for depression, right? Why? Because human beings couldn't do the thing that they want to do the most, which is be connected to other human beings. And as further evidence of that, let's say you go to court, you are convicted of a crime, and you are thrown in jail amongst thieves, unalivers and rapists and all that other stuff. That's not the worst thing that they can do to you. Not taking away your liberty and putting you in a dangerous situation is not the worst thing they can do to you. The worst thing that they can do to you is put you in solitary confinement. Which, by the way, the people that invented solitary confinement invented it as a form of torture. So, Blue, your thoughts?
I'm giggling at Steve. Steve, what are you cooking?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought my microphone was off. I'm cleaning up the kitchen.
Have at it. I'll. There you go. Excellent.
My take on it, it's a little unconventional. So I'm the kind of person where I love everyone right out of the gates. And I was raised in an environment where my parents didn't really show affection, but I always went against the grain, and maybe that's why I was able to break some of those cycles. But I think I love everyone until they prove that they don't deserve my love. And
That's a song lyric, you know.
is it really? Because it
Yeah.
really rolled off my tongue.
The band is called Love. The 1967 song is titled "Alone Again," and the lyric, which is the second verse, says, "Hey, I heard a funny thing. Somebody said to me, I think that I could be in love with almost everyone. I think that people are the greatest fun."
Yes. Oh, well, I don't know what song that is.
I
And
just
I'm usually
fucking
pretty good.
told you, God damn it. No, just
I
kidding.
mean, like in my ears, I can't in my
Yeah, it's a
in my
it's a
headspace, I can't
hugely
picture it.
popular song, by the way. So Look it up. It's called Love, and the Love is the band, and the song has a weird title. It's called Alone Again or.
I actually have a pen and paper when I'm on your lives because I'm constantly writing things
What
down.
kind of cave woman are you? No, just kidding.
I know I'm such a beast, such a beast. But
What the
but I
fuck
but
is
I do.
paper?
It used to come from a tree, and there's
Yeah.
this ink. And
We've had the technology
Yeah,
to live in a
communist thing.
paperless society for a long time. I never touch the only paper I touch every month is the check for the rent and the envelope that I put it in. That's it.
but I don't know, and I've been royally rocked
I took all of the classes.
and in relationships in a bad way. Luckily, it hasn't necessarily. I mean, I've had a crush before, and it was unrequited very early on, and that's not a very good feeling. But I think that I've just developed my sensory. I don't even know what you would call it, but like I'm not gonna say I love you unless that moment happens where I know without a doubt that they feel the same. They might not be ready at
Oh,
that
that's
moment.
fear talking.
Is it? They might not be
Yeah.
ready, and I'm not looking for them to say
That's
it
horseshit.
back.
I might not be ready. That's such a snobby position to come
Oh no, no,
from.
no, no.
It really is. No. Again,
Wait,
look. I know you don't intend it that way, but I'm telling you what I'm
wait.
hearing.
You're
Right?
taking it the wrong way. Hold on. Let me wait. You're taking it the wrong way. If
No, I'm not.
I wait, are you saying so? Wait, you're saying that you're saying my comment that if I love you and I feel it, and I know all of a sudden they feel it, that I love that, and that's when I know. And
No, you were
if
saying they
they're
might
not
not be ready.
ready
That's the
to
snobby
oh,
part.
if they're not ready to say it, I'm not going to expect it back from them, is what I was saying.
All right.
But if
It
someone's
sounded
like,
different. It sounded like you
oh,
said you
I
weren't
know.
gonna say it until you thought they were ready.
Oh God, no. I love, like I said, I love everybody, and I've got to like hold it back sometimes. But I like the feeling when
Hold
that
it back in
spark,
what way and why?
to make sure it's worth my energy, maybe, because like I said, I kind of love everyone, and I love
So
everything
give me a little bit
quirky.
more on that. Make sure it's worth your energy. What does that mean?
That it's like if you love everybody, you just love everybody. But to get to a point where you want it to be physical and have it like you have that physical like chemistry feeling, just being around them or the way they move or say something or speak on something, it's a different elevated level of love. And that grows for me really fast. And I have to almost not analyze it, but I don't want to
That's
over
interesting.
love.
You're saying the physical aspect of love is the elevated part, and most people will tell you that that is the lowest level.
When I say physical, I don't mean sex. I mean physical
Oh, easy,
energy.
easy.
Oh, excuse me,
We're on TikTok. Yeah.
schmeck.
So okay.
I mean physical in the sense of
So
energy.
let's go back to what was the question? It was about energy. So I lost it. So go ahead.
It was a good one. I should have wrote it down. I have the pen
Yeah.
here. But I loved it. And you were, talking oh, is it that if you love someone and they don't love you back? Or no, no.
Well, that was the original question, but yeah, no. I mean, so yeah,
What's wrong with us?
I hear people construct a lot of elaborate language that all sounds like fear to me. Because here's the thing about fear is that it's very reasonable sounding. Like, and this is from the book, uh, Emmanuel's book 2, The Choice for Love. So the title is Emmanuel's book 2. The subtitle is The Choice for Love, where this being explains that there's only two energies in the universe, love and fear, and how fear will always speak to you in very reasonable language. Like, fear will say, I will keep you safe. And that sounds very reasonable, doesn't it? Well, of course, I want to be safe, so that's good. Love will say, you're already safe. So when you talk about, I want to make sure they're ready and all that other stuff, that all sounds like it's motivated by fear.
Well, I also have been hurt
Well,
in.
engage with what I've said. Does that sound like fear
I'm,
to you?
well, hear me out. I also believe that I've been hurt from a lot of different angles in some really intense ways when you really think about it.
Yeah,
But
yeah. More
that's not,
narrative. So
that's, but hold on, bear with me.
I would
Patience, I
like you
don't
to
speak as
start with
fast as
the
you.
answer and then build on it. So do you think that
Well,
that's fear?
that's not how I communicate though.
I
So,
understand, but that's why I'm saying I'd like you to. I'm not saying you have to. I would like you to first say yes or no. Do you think it's fear so that I will understand the context that you're building to?
is what fear?
This is why it's important to answer right away, because then you
You
forget the
see, no, no,
question, right?
no. See, that's
So,
why maybe not
so
cutting me off
when,
and putting me in a
so, so
different train of
when,
thought.
so
I
when,
would be able
so,
to
so when
articulate it.
I said, is it fear based to say, I want to wait till they're ready to tell them that I love them? Do you think that's an example of fear?
Great question. I don't know how to answer that. I don't know.
Well,
But I will
why do you
say,
think it though? That's what you think. That's what you
if
said,
I
right?
had
You said
experiences,
You said if I, if I feel love, I don't always say it right away, essentially just in case they're not ready. So that sounds like a fear-based thought to me. If it isn't, you can explain why it's not, but that's what it sounds
oh,
like
I
to
got
me.
you. It's not fear. It's that sometimes people think that if they say I love you, that you're kind of pushing them into saying I love you back. And
All right.
therefore, if I
Mm-hmm.
know in my mind I love them, should I tell? It's a great question. I'm not sure, but
So instead of mind reading, let's talk about you. Why is it that if you love someone, you wouldn't tell them?
um, I don't know. I kind of just do though.
Well, you
if
said you
I've been
wouldn't if
hurt,
they weren't ready
if
for it. So
who am I
so
to
that's
say if they're
hedging.
ready? No, it's not edging. It's more along the lines of if we feel it, we feel it, and like we both know, and it just happens. If I overthink it,
Yeah, but that's not what I'm
then
talking about, right? So I'm talking about
I guess
you.
I'm
You
confused.
keep
I'm
taking it to the
confused.
other person. You keep adding the other person.
Oh,
So
me?
let's talk about you, okay?
Okay.
So you feel love for someone, and then you
Okay.
say, "I'm not going to say it because they might not be ready for it."
Oh,
Why?
I guess I shouldn't have said it that way. I would prefer if you happen to hit that level of love beyond just love, I'm talking like the physical attraction. I prefer it to be mutual in a sense or some indication.
Why?
Um, I don't know. Like I was saying before, if I'm being, have all these bad experiences, that's not the next person I meet's fault. And I can't take that baggage and put it on them. Who am I, And so I have to still continue forward openly and not bring those experiences to them. And if they're ready to say I love you, and I'll be like, whoa, that's cool as hell. And if at that moment I'm feeling it back, I will. If I'm not, I won't. If they get mad that I won't, then they have a problem or baggage they're putting on me from their past
But that
or their
reverses my
past.
question. I wasn't asking about them saying I love you to you. I was asking about you saying I
Layman's
love you
terms
to them.
again. Let's bring it back. Layman's way down. Layman's
I'm sorry?
terms. Let's do it again. Bring it back to layman's terms for me. So
Oh, I'm
if
not, I don't know
you're
what that means.
saying,
What I'm saying is you reversed the scenario to they say I love you to you. I'm saying the scenario is you say I love you to them and they respond with I like you. So and this concept that we're exploring is the
I,
idea of you won't say it to them because you think they're not ready for it.
well, who am I to say that though? So I guess that was maybe I misspoke a little bit there. But
That's
if
possible.
if I say I love you and they're like, oh, I like you, maybe they just didn't feel like saying it, and maybe we'll get there. But I wanted something more in it, and I was able to have that conversation and be like, hey, I want something more, and they say no, I'm not feeling it that way, then okay, glad we clarified that, and I move on.
What
Like, I don't
conversation
know.
did someone have to have with you in order for you to fall in love with that person? No one talked
Feeling,
you into being in love with that person, right?
it's a feeling. If
Right.
something I was
So no
attracted
one
to,
talked you
or
into it.
no.
So why would you have to talk to them about it?
Oh, if I liked them and they didn't like me back that way, I would want them to say that, so we don't play mind games or go down that
Yeah,
route.
that's been stated. You say I love you, they say I
Mhm.
like you, and then you said, "Well, I'm going to have a conversation with them." Why? What are you going to talk them into?
Because maybe I got the wrong impression, or
No, you got
maybe
the right
I'm
impression. You said I love you. Because you knew you understood this is what you feel. I
maybe
love
we're
this
not.
person. And then you said, I love you. And they knew and understood that they like you. And they said, I like you. So what
Cool.
conversation has to happen for what purpose?
Oh, to get to a point of potentially being, what's the word again? I mean, like I said, I'm widowed now, so I'm going back into my pre his passing thoughts, so maybe things have changed. But let's go get a movie and popcorn and stop overthinking it. I don't know. I just kind of go with the flow with it. I don't really know.
Excellent. All right. Anybody else have other thoughts on that? And Traffic Man, I invited you up, so whenever you want to come up, feel free, and I'll reset the question with you. But anybody else have any further thoughts on this? I'm loving this conversation, but and
I am too.
Yeah,
this is
you
how I
are.
coach. You know,
It's
this
not
is
even
this.
fair.
Say
It's
again.
not fair. It's
What's
It's
not
not
so
fair?
good.
fair.
It's
It's
so right.
not.
Wait, what?
He bullied me. He like ran circles around me,
He's gonna get your heart out. He wants to see your heart.
spanked me, humiliated me in front of the internet.
Yoda,
Bullshit.
it's bullshit.
I bullied you into a fucking important realization about yourself.
Job well done.
That's kind of my coaching style. Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
It's tough love, man. For real.
Oh man, I love that. I love that idea.
I love how aggressively you attack the original question because it's such an anchor point.
Because
I
it's
think
important, because what happens is this happens with everybody. That I'm not pointing fingers. This literally happens in any coaching scenario I've ever been in. People get thrown into their narrative. They don't realize how, like, at the end of the day, what you believe about life is how you live life. So these beliefs are not casual. This is how you survive. But very rarely do people examine whether the belief has any validity to it, whether the belief is helping you or hurting you, because you've been telling yourselves these stories for your whole fucking life. And they seem perfectly reasonable because they come from you. Why wouldn't you believe you? Right? Mostly schizophrenics don't believe themselves. That's why they're schizophrenic. So but you know what I'm saying? Like, people just have this thing and they don't realize where it comes from. They don't realize how many negative influences could be involved in this narrative that they have. They don't realize how limiting the narrative could be. And they might not even realize
Well,
how potentially empowering it could be as well.
there's so many people that live inside of you that show up to help write the narrative, especially because it is such
but isn't that how we
here's
think
how
about
delicate
things?
a lot of people like to use delicate language to express complicated emotions,
Mhm.
and then you get this giant word salad when it could have been like this much if you just said how you felt at the beginning.
Yeah.
And
The
But
like,
same
like
said people don't function
here's
that way though.
here's the
I
no here's
don't.
the thing though. We're taught through stories. right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right.
That's how we learn. Like
Sure.
we engage in storytelling. That's what
Absolutely. Let me ask you a
TV
question. Do you
is.
still believe in Santa Claus?
Yes, of course.
Hold on. I was
I
asking
don't
Autumn. Do you believe in
I
Santa
don't
Claus?
know.
You probably don't, right?
Don't pick on me.
No, no, I'm not picking on you. Look, this is for
Oh.
everybody's benefit. Because the reason why I'm so engaged with what you've been saying tonight is because I love what you're saying. Okay, so
Right.
it's a springboard for conversation, right?
Got it.
And I mentioned that earlier. I said you literally caused me to think
I
about
know.
this whole thing in
I'm
a way
just
that I never have before. So I'm loving your contribution to this conversation. So the reason why you don't believe in Santa Claus anymore is because you got to a point where you examined that story and you said, it doesn't make sense anymore, right? But the fact is we don't do that with all of the stories. And what I'm saying is I
some
believe
of the
it's
stories are
extremely
real.
helpful to do that with all the stories.
Some of the stories are real.
Some of the stories are real and some of them are false. Some of them are
But
fake. Some of them are vaporware, just made up.
But I
I'll
think
say this about
I
Santa
think
Claus and why I
it's
don't believe him anymore. It's because the gift I gave him one year I found in my mother's jewelry box.
no, like I think it's more to say that it's one thing to to like read the definition of a word, and it's another thing to use a metaphor, which is a kind of story,
Mm-hmm.
to describe that definition. Like
Sure.
it's the substance of something,
Yeah. So
right?
what you're talking of connotative, denotative, and then the meaning that you derive from it. I agree
And
100%.
so humans, I don't know that we cannot like think about it without thinking about it through some sort of storied thinking.
No, absolutely. Jeannie, thank you for stopping by. Um, by the way, for all of you that were here Friday and heard Jeannie deliver a completely magical a cappella rendition of Creep, I have made it available to everybody. If you go to my link tree, you go near the bottom, it says special performance by Jeannie. You will be able to hear uh, what we fell in love with Friday. But yes, you are 100% correct that we learn in stories, we think in stories, but a story that you heard at 5 and that you believed at 5, is it necessarily useful at 30? Maybe not. Maybe so. Like something that I heard at 5, which is still extremely useful for me today, is be nice. Share. I still believe
Why?
those things, right?
I think that's what like a lot of arguments are competing stories.
Agreed. 100%.
Or ego.
Well, yeah, it's
And they're
ego, but
not
it's like
mutually
two
exclusive.
people's
That you could
ego.
have
Right,
ego-driven competing stories. 100%.
right. And that I think is probably typical of arguments.
Yeah, because people want to be right more than they want to understand.
So it's kind of like I have a friend, and him and his wife are swingers. And it's just not like my thing, but we have an insane amount of mutual respect for each other. They'll say things sometimes, and I'm like, oh dear God. And I'll say one thing, but I still love them to death, and I would never judge them on what they choose to define love for them. And it comes from a great place. Like they genuinely are madly in love with each other, and they're just very open, and I'm not. And maybe that's society, maybe that's just my genetics, I don't know. And I don't really feel like peeling that apple apart or onion apart tonight, but like I respect it, and I respect myself. And if I like, I love you, Yoda. I love a lot of people on this
Oh,
panel. I love
thank
a
you.
lot of people. I genuinely, especially if I respect you as a person, and your ways of thinking and your intent is not malicious. It's truly educational or opening up a mind to a different island. But it's sometimes I articulate in a way where I am kind of more of that storyteller, like Autumn was talking about, and I can't just answer yes or no. I have to be like, well, wait, hold on. I have questions. Like, because there's so many questions that could answer it, and just yes and no is so black and white, and sometimes it's gray, I don't know.
You're still
It's
back in
also
that moment. I love
it's
that. So, Untitled said
I did it again.
subconscious scripts. That's a great way to put it. I love that. Never thought of
Ooh, I
it that
did.
way, but subconscious scripts, that's a great thing. Yeah, we have tons of them. We have tons of them.
I think stories work as like containers for nuance. That is
Sure.
to it's a condensed way
Yeah, and
to
the problem is
transfer.
that if you have a story that doesn't work for you and you're still using it, then that's problematic potentially, right?
Sure,
And that's the
sure,
whole that's the work that I do, and I mean my own personal development work is all about being very clear on what motivates my thinking about things and realizing that just because I have a thought doesn't mean I need to be in love with it. It's just a thought. It's just a belief. It's just a story I've been telling myself for a very long time. And it doesn't matter what that story is. It's just a question of, well, does this story serve me? And if it doesn't, what do I need to do about that? That's been that's been the crux of my work for almost 38 years now. Hello, Gail. Hello. Are you there?
yeah. This has been the most probably intriguing topic I
That's
think we've
music to
had.
my ears.
I loved it.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
I want more.
Um, I'm like feeling pretty humbled right now, but good, I guess.
Yeah, listen, that for me, the only way I grew at all ever came either as a result of my humbling myself or my having been humiliated.
Mhm.
You know, growth, like all things in life, like the universe is predicated on struggle, right? How did the universe come into existence? How did the galaxies and the planets and all that? Big bang. That's an explosion, right? A huge release of energy. And I'm not just talking about me by myself on a Saturday night. I'm talking about the universe, right?
Oh, do you wanna have a quick sidebar real quick? Just like a 2 minute
Please
sidebar?
go ahead.
Okay, so new, there's a new idea, um, and it has to do with the rotation of all the galaxies, um, that we can see orbiting, like in an unequal amount, suggesting that we exist in a spiral, which suggests that we exist within a black hole, which suggests that because we have black holes within our universe too, that this could be like our how we're attached in like to a multiverse that is
Yeah.
like constantly sucking and blowing through these things.
We might
So
live
it
in the
might not be
butthole of the Jolly Green Giant.
right.
I was about to scream, "Oh my gosh, you're explaining string theory." What?
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's
I'm a big fat nerd.
wild. It is so wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it might so yeah, it might not have been a Big Bang after all, but it still works the same way regardless.
So check this out. We're on a rock right now, hurtling through space at something like 600,000 miles per hour as we spin at 1,000 miles per hour. And there's all sorts of other fucking crazy factors. Nobody knows how the fuck we got here, what the fuck we're doing, or where the fuck we go after that. But isn't it amazing how many people talk to you as if they know, you know? And like Billy Joel said in the song Shades of Grey, now the only people I fear are those who never have doubt. Traffic Man, oh, you just teacupped as I was about to
Oh,
say
sorry.
hello
Hold
to
on.
you. There you are.
Hey,
What's
there
up,
we are.
Traffic Man? Good to see you.
Hey, good evening. Yes, sir. Sorry, a
So,
lot of
Traffic
work
Man,
stuff
I know
going on
you
tonight.
and Blue have seen the video of that Genie that I did for Genie. So, any
Yes,
thoughts on that?
I love it. I mean, just listening to it again. It was when it happened in real time. I can't say that I could appreciate it enough. But going back and listening to it a second time, man, she like it is just it is perfect. You know what I mean? Every note she hit beautifully. She really did.
Yeah,
And I mean that.
yeah. I'm with you. How about you, Blue?
Oh, it's just so raw. Like I'm listening to it and I was doing things around the kitchen and it played once and then it was like kind of on the repeat. And there's this one part, I don't know if you edited it to like crescendo it or what, but it just like her voice does this thing where it goes into the
Yeah,
off
that's all
note.
her. I didn't do any of that.
Oh, like when she hits the flats,
Hmm.
and that's intentional for what's his name, Corbell, not Corbell, my God, Cornell. Um, but she does it and with such ease, like she drops that uncomfortable note that is disharmonious to us, and then rides it with a vibrato, and it's like, what
Yeah.
the frick, man? It was just raw. It was
Yeah,
so
she
cool.
she effortlessly changed gears into dystonic harmony.
Yes.
And you have to have an immaculate ear in order to be able to do that, let alone actually execute it.
Hmm.
So, like I said when I heard it, when she was first done, I think the first thing I said was I could spend an hour
You did.
dissecting what we just experienced because it was just a superhuman trick to me,
Mm-hmm.
and imagine my delight in, I finally sat down today because Danny didn't go live. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to use this time to put this video together. And the only thing I changed was she started over. And the second time she started, people were talking over to her. So I took the first 15 or 20 seconds from the first time she started and replaced it at the second time. That's the only thing I did to change it. And sonically, my goal was to just clear out the muddiness that any kind of digital recording has and increase the clarity of it and just make it present and pleasant and and available to enjoy. I did
Mhm.
not do any kind of like manipulation of her voice in the
Yeah.
slightest. In the
Oh,
slightest.
it
There's
was.
no tone correction, there's no nothing. The
Yeah.
only thing that I had to do on like 3 occasions at the end of her note, the sound dropped out because the filter that I was using to filter out the background noise, it fell below that range. So I just had to increase the volume at the end of a breath or at the end of an S sound just to make sure that it was captured. But literally, the quality of it 100% came from her.
Mhm.
Is she aware that and not like a bad way, but like is she aware that you've done this?
Oh
Have you
yeah,
reached out to her?
I sent her the
Okay,
link
fantastic.
first. You know,
Perfect.
first I
Wonderful.
I told
Yes,
her that I was going to do it on Friday, but then when I first did it, I was like, well, the first person I have to send it to is her, and then I sent
sure.
it to a few other people. I think I sent it to like maybe 3 or 4 people.
Well, unfortunately, now you have me as a subscriber to your YT channel, so
It's not unfortunate for me, it's unfortunate for you. You got to prepare yourself for a
that's
lot of
okay.
disappointment.
Oh, if I may, you guys were talking about space, which is one of my very favorite hobbies, and I think you were alluding to the fact that we are basically insignificant in this. Uh,
No, actually,
what's the
that
word I'm
wasn't
looking for?
part of my thinking, but I could
Oh, okay.
certainly
I'm
see
sorry.
that argument.
Well, so the photo that I have up right now was taken by Bill Anders on the Apollo 8 mission with Frank Borman and Jim Lovell. They were all. This was the mission where they flew around the moon and came back. They didn't land on the moon with this mission on Apollo 8. And this was, I think it's called Earthrise, if I'm not mistaken. And when you think about the impact of this photo, basically what this photo is every human being that has ever lived, that has ever existed, is on that blue dot except for three of them.
I've got a different perspective. If you
Please.
would do me a favor and
Mhm.
just go search for pale blue dot. And it's
Okay. Yeah.
significant because the person who agrees with the idea of insignificance is Carl Sagan. At least he did
Yes.
before he had the unfortunate reality of ending. But there's a great clip of him. And yeah, whenever if you find pale blue dot, I'd love it if you could put it up so everybody could see it.
Yeah.
So, uh, there's a clip of him on Instagram that I saw where he's explaining to someone, it might have been Barbara Walters or someone. He talked about the idea of like how many hundreds of trillions of billions of planets and stars and celestial bodies there are, and the expanse, the impossible to imagine expanse. What the fuck is happening to my camera right now? The impossible to imagine expanse of the universe, and all the variation that might be in it. Oh, thank you, Traffic Man. In
Absolutely.
this photo, if you look at Traffic Man's square, the Earth is there all alone, and all of the inhabitants are on Earth at the time. That photo is called Pale Blue Dot because the Earth is represented by 1 pixel in the entire photo from 2 billion miles away. NASA actually they did Carl Sagan a favor by programming it to when it got 2 billion miles away to turn around so that I could take that photo. And if you
Hmm.
look up what he wrote about it, it's absolutely stunning to me. It's a beautiful piece called Pale Blue Dot. And, what he said was when you consider the number of stars, the number of possibilities of galaxies and different universes and all that stuff, to have the arrogance to believe that we are the cause or reason for any of it is the height of arrogance.
Exactly. And I mean, he's absolutely accurate. Um, I know Autumn had brought up a theory, and I would like to uh, give you guys a new theory that seems to be coming out right now. So, thanks to the James Webb Telescope that we have up, there's a new theory that has come out that we could actually be possibly in a stellar void, a galactic void, because we see many other places in our universe where there are galaxies that are so close to each other that there are star formations, all this stuff. And our galaxy and the next closest is the Andromeda galaxy, which I believe is like, I forget, it's like 12 light years away or something like that. Eventually we're gonna run into each other. But it was an explanation for why it seems that no matter what direction we look, everything's expanding faster you know what I mean? It's kind of an explanation as to why everything seems to be expanding away from us fast at a higher rate of speed, kind of a thing, because it doesn't make sense for the entire universe or visible universe, but in our localized area, it would kind of make sense because if there's nothing else around us, physics, I guess.
So I have another theory, which is my unicorn did it. But Jennifer writes, I feel the limitations of my mind when I try to think about the size of space. Yeah. When I think about life, that's where I get to very often. So Traffic Man, I'm going to bring you up to speed on the question of the day,
Yes.
the reason why this particular episode of Yoda Live is called Jack and Jill. And this is the scenario that I presented and the question that I asked regarding the scenario. You're in a relationship less than a year. It's important to create that parameter that it's less than a year. You say, I love you, and the object of your love and affection responds with, I like you. Is that okay? Oh, wow. Look at that. That's a crane. Thank you, trucker. Is that okay? And if not, why? If it is, why? What do you think?
So I've been in this situation. My personal take on this, if we're talking that we've been in a relationship for a year, and after a year, I'm assuming that it's after 1 year, I
No, within a
spring
year. Within a year.
okay, okay, within a year, okay. Um, I'm
By the
not,
way, there's no
I would
wrong
not be
answers. Hurry the fuck up.
okay. No, no, you're okay. Sorry. Uh, so listen, within a year, I would not be comfortable with somebody not reciprocating my affection towards them. If I said I love you and they said I like you, I would have to question their motivation on the relationship.
Why?
Because I feel well. I guess are we see? I guess my question is: are we talking like when you say within a year? Are we
I
talking
gave you
like a
the
3 month?
parameters, man. Get to it.
Okay,
Why
all
do
right,
you
all right,
feel
all
the
right.
way you do?
Yeah, just take your licks. You're gonna get eviscerated. Just take it. It's all good.
No. Okay. So I guess at any point in time when I extend to them my feelings, I feel that that's kind of a defining moment in the relationship. If they're not going to reciprocate back to me with my feelings, then we know where we stand in the relationship.
That's very interesting that your ego is so big that someone has to feel the same way you do the moment you do.
Okay, I get it. No, no, I get what you're saying. Um, there's a lot of variables, though.
No, there isn't. No,
You'll
there isn't.
agree.
No, there isn't.
Or have
It's
you
your ego.
created
That's
variables?
totally ego driven. Oh, I've said I love you. How dare you not feel the same way? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't know. I listen. You're talking to the wrong guy with this question because my wife and I dated for
Stop
7 years
spinning,
before we got
stop
married.
spinning, stop spinning. But
I
you
don't know.
have you ever
Yeah,
been in this
yeah,
situation where you said I love you and they said I like you?
yes, yes. And then, unfortunately, yeah, I second guessed the relationship and called it off.
Right. And the reason you second guessed the relationship, whether it was ego driven or not, which it was, but the reason why
Sure.
you second guessed the relationship is because of the narrative that you had, the belief that you had about what that meant. Because the interesting thing is that you felt the way you felt before you knew how they felt. So that how they
Right.
felt didn't matter to how you felt because you felt that way. Why would it
Right.
matter after you expressed it?
I get what you're saying. I don't know. It just
I,
relationships don't work with me. Sorry.
what a ridiculous thing to say.
I,
You just finished talking about how you were married. So is that not working out for you? Is that what you're announcing
no,
here
no, no, no.
today?
Okay, no, 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 no. That is working out, but no, no. I'm very awkward when
Relationships
it comes
don't
to
work for me
relationships.
except for the one I have with my wife and children.
Correct. Correct. Accurate. Yes.
You have friends?
Very few.
How many? That's based on the
Uh,
idea that there's a number that you're supposed to have, which is you're just goofy tonight. How many friends do you have,
yes.
roughly?
Probably about 3 or 4
Three
that
or
I
four.
actually talk
Okay.
to. Yes.
Okay. And do you have coworkers?
Many. Yes.
You have many. Okay. So you got lots of relationships that seem to be working out just fine.
I guess
Well, do
for the
you or
most.
don't you?
Yeah.
Do you or don't you?
Well, yeah. No. It is working out. I guess.
You
Yeah.
have siblings?
One. Yes.
Okay. Do you hate him or does he or she hate you?
No. No. He doesn't hate me. We talk all the time.
That's another relationship you've got in the bag. And you're sitting here with a story about how relationships don't work for you. That's interesting.
Well, you didn't define what relationship was.
We just defined a bunch of relationships, didn't we?
Yes. I guess we did. Absolutely.
What else? So let's see if there's any other. Do you have a pet?
No.
Okay. So you have a wife and children, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Okay. So that means you're a husband, you're a father, you have a sibling, so you're a sibling. You are your parents still with us?
Yeah. Both of them are. Yes.
Okay, so you're a son as well. All right. You have coworkers, you have friends. Am I missing any other kind of relationship besides being a pet owner?
At this point, no.
Okay, so it sounds like in all meaningful ways you have the bases covered.
I can't argue against you with that. No, absolutely not.
Unless there's a type of
your logic makes
relationship that we
sense.
don't
Yeah.
know about that you're talking about.
No. There's nothing else.
But this is what I say about narrative, man. This is how narrative fucks us up. We have these stories in our head. Your story, and of course I'm oversimplifying it, but I'm just repeating what you
Sure.
said. Your story was relationships don't work out for me. How amazing is it for you to have that story in the face of the reality of your life?
I mean, you're not wrong.
This is
You're
why I'm
not.
an
You're
excellent
not.
coach.
You are an excellent coach. Yes, sir. So I keep coming back to your lives.
Oh, delightful. And thank you for pulling up that photo. I love that photo, and I
Mhm.
particularly love what Sagan wrote about that. It's
Absolutely.
just a beautiful piece. He was such a brilliant man. To me anyway. I mean, I love people who are not only intelligent in a way that is unusual, but then can take their brilliance and distill it to the rest of us dummies. you know,
Correct.
and do it eloquently. Like, I think he was a beautiful speaker. He was just able to
Yes.
communicate in such a smooth, loquacious way. So anyway, we're at 2:21. This has been fun, man. Time has flown. I'm not necessarily ending it, but does anybody else have anything either on the subject or something different, whatever?
I'm just happy that I wasn't the only one. So there.
There's a very consistent theme running through this experience for you, I see.
See, listen. Listen. The thing is, when I come, the reason I come back to Yoda's lives is, no matter how much you call me out on hypocrisy or whatever it is, anything that you have said, and you correct me on that. I mean, the man's brilliant. I don't know what else to say.
Oh, thank you.
You got it.
But the thing is, here's what I think I understand in the feedback that people have given me. And this is universal. We understand intent, right? We know I'm not here trying to hurt your feelings. I'm not here trying to humiliate anybody.
No.
And the thing is that what I say can result in hurt feelings or humiliation. I get that. And when you hear me talk to a MAGA hat, you see a purposeful attempt to humiliate that person. But
That's
you
my
can see
favorite.
the difference in how I'm talking to you. It might be embarrassing. It might make you feel weird or whatever, but you understand my intent, and that makes the difference.
Yes.
Trucker, what's up?
Sucker.
Hey, so I just want to come in at the end of this.
Yeah. And by the way, before you do, I appreciate that you're here, and I want to expose you as the filthy liar that you are, because you told us you weren't coming back.
He's putting out fires.
I know it. You want to know something that was just crazy after that live? I ended up with a mild concussion.
What?
Yeah.
Damn.
And I'll have to get into
let
that
me
later.
guess, another woman's interested in you?
That's in the tree.
No, it was a.
That's an
a
inside joke
mishap.
for all of us that were here Saturday.
Right.
So
Yeah,
anyway.
it was a mishap at 3:47 a.m. But we'll get into that next show.
Well,
I wanted
are
to,
you feeling okay though?
Well, I'm getting there. I just took the ice pack off, and I heard your conversation,
Wow.
and you know, and I thought about it, right? And I honestly thought about it. And what I thought about was, it wouldn't matter to me, right? If I know that person, I'm going to be the one to say, "Hey, I love you," right? And she didn't, and I don't know what torment she's been through. I don't know how closed her heart is, but I know I know time heals all wounds, right? So I'll give her the time and the space to get up to my speed. I won't demand it of her, and I won't leave her if I say, "Hey, you know what? I love you." She's like, "Oh, yeah, sure. You want some pizza?" You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to just drop trowel and leave.
Your wife had to wait 7 years until you took your goofy head out of your goofy ass.
I told you I have patience. I have
No,
patience.
she has patience.
You know, I've got
Oh,
patience of a saint,
isn't
and I don't
isn't
have
it
to.
fun? I just have to acknowledge this moment and this is for me. This is for me. I love the fact that we know things about each other's lives, like our real lives, because
Exactly.
it gives me a feeling of intimacy. You know, this is some fucking internet thing that's bouncing off satellites. I haven't a clue how this conversation is facilitated. Even when people explain it to me, it just leaks out of my ears. I'm too dumb to understand how this works. But the fact is that over time that we've been talking, sharing, we've gotten to know each other, and it's this warm, cozy feeling. Am I totally crazy, or does anybody else feel that?
It's
Well,
closer than a lot of friends in the last maybe 15 or let's say 5 years and before COVID. I think that if you can have that consistency with certain people that come in, it's very authentic. And
Yeah.
that's a special thing because you never would think that would happen, 10, 15 years ago when the internet wasn't as live, if you will, than it is now. And that's a
Yeah.
very special thing. It's
Yeah, I
it
agree.
is.
I
I
have
feel
something.
that
Oops.
I feel that if I went to New York and went to Raid's Pizza and says, "Hey, I'm here," somebody would be too busy to meet me. But hey, that's just what I feel.
Hey, listen, it is what it is. I'm fucking busy, man.
I love
No,
that.
but you know,
I
here's
was
the
thinking
thing.
about you.
Like honestly, Danny texted me earlier, and to let me know that he wasn't going live tonight, and just the fact that he has my cell number and I have his is like so meaningful to me. You know, just like that I know this man, that I feel the way I do about him with boundless respect and reverence for him. And how this was facilitated by a platform that was designed for children.
Exactly.
Yep.
And one of the most important people in my life came to me through this goofy platform. It's fucking amazing to me.
You know, I had that experience yesterday, right? I think a lot of you guys know who the Rational Boomer is,
Yeah.
right? Like,
I sure do.
right? I'm able to reach out and just text him and say, "Hey, Boomer, are you going live?" or whatever the situation is, and he'll text me back. And
Did he text you for bail money?
no, he texts me and says, "No, I'm not going live on any platforms."
He's cool.
But anyway,
Okay.
I'm just saying I agree with you because I never would have had that opportunity had it not been for TikTok.
And by the way, I hope I'm not misremembering. He is the one that got arrested, right?
No, oh no, that's the millennial.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
That's the older millennial. No,
Oh,
The
rational
older
boomer
millennial.
was
See
the
that?
yeah.
It's too many syllabic inferences there. Okay, so it was the older
I
no
millennial.
actually I
no
ended up on
rational
his live
boomer
the
is
other
cool.
night.
Yes. So my mistake, rational boomer. I impugned your character there unintentionally.
Yeah, no, he's cool. He's one of the greatest that do it. You know, like he has 1,500 a show and whatever. But
Yeah.
I could
Yeah,
reach out to him.
this is why when people are like, "Oh, your lives are so big," I'm like, obviously you haven't seen that many lives because this, like, Dean Withers will have 18,000 people on his live.
yeah, but you know what? That's the difference between, creating that Jerry Springer effect where it's like you can't look away because it's so entertaining versus how many friends can you genuinely count on one hand. You're lucky if you can hit five. And
Right.
that's the difference because you have a level of intimacy, but you're still building, and that build is coming from a really good place of people who respect you. And I'd almost rather that than have a million viewers on a live because I'm playing the algorithm or playing that entertainment game.
Yeah, I
I'd,
mean,
I'd
I don't want to
rather.
diminish what Dean does in that way. It's just, he's been at it a lot longer than I have. I just started going live regularly like just a few months ago.
Yeah.
Who
So,
is
and then
Dean?
I was only doing 3 days a week at first, and then I decided to go 6 days a week. So this is all recent. Oh, thank you for that little doggy, JK.
So I
Who's
get
Dean?
something.
Dean Withers is just one of the large creators on the platform. He
Gotcha.
he spends his days arguing with MAGA hats, and like on the one hand, I look at his success because he makes a lot of money doing this, but on the other hand, he doesn't do anything else. When I was his age, I was out there just getting as much pootie tang on my down low as I could.
Oh my God! Did you just say Pootie Tang?
I sure did.
That was insane. I get something a little different out of this app. Um, I also get what you guys have mentioned, but when I first came in, um, I was just looking for something to do, entertainment, and then I started picking up on people that were teaching me things. And so I started learning and going to people that had expertise and stuff, like lawyers and things like that. And then I was just running across more people that had different expertise. And so I've been learning a lot of things, um, learning and finding community with people that are like me, that I was always an outsider, so I never experienced that growing up. So my family's like, why is your phone always in your hand? I'm like, because these people get me and they're like me and they understand me and I can talk to them.
Yeah,
And
no,
it
those
makes me
are all
happy.
very important things. And, it gives credence to that very old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
And sometimes the best advice comes from people who aren't biased, like your family. It sometimes strangers, and like I know it. I feel like I don't know personally just yet, but like if I had an issue and I had to like be like, Yoda, what do you think about this X, Y, and Z? He's not gonna sugarcoat it and tell me what I want to hear, and he's not gonna be biased and tell me for whatever reason in that person in my family's trauma issue, whatever their intent is. I know it's gonna come from a place of a big heart, and that speaks measures to me. And so I actually get you, Jennifer, on that one.
Yeah. Thank you again. And I'll say this, like, in my opinion, families are the most likely source of people's trauma.
1000%.
So
My
you
family's a
said
fucking train wreck. I don't talk to my family except for my uncle and his children. I don't talk to my brother. My sister passed 6 or 7 years ago. I don't talk to her. Oh, it's more than that. I think she passed 9 years ago. I didn't talk to her. I don't talk to my cousins. Nobody on my family except my uncle and his children. That's it. Because they're just disastrous, horrible people.
We're in a situation where I have to secretly have my uncle come over and visit, because my father and my uncle have some decades old
Yeah,
are bullshit,
yeah.
and I don't
Hatfield
want
McCoy
I don't want
nonsense.
exactly, and I don't want my uncle to not see my children, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? And
Right.
yeah, it's stupid. It really, at the end of the day, it's just dumb shit.
So speaking of dumb shit, so hey Yoda,
Yeah.
do you mind if I tell our story? It's a great story.
Sure. No, I don't mind at all.
Okay, so Yoda and I, we crossed paths many of times, and Yoda was gracious enough to bless me on one of my lives, and it happened to be the live that we had a complete jackass on the live, and we were trying to put fires out, and this guy said something to Yoda, and Yoda's ears perked up. And Yoda became Yoda, but he was MAGA Yoda at that point. So I was trying to.
Oh,
I
Da,
asked you,
da, da,
did
da,
you mind? And you
da.
said I could, right?
no, no,
So
no,
I
no.
was trying.
I was doing MAGA Yoda. No, tell it,
So I
Da,
was
man.
trying to put
da,
the
da.
fires
Tell,
out.
tell, tell the whole story. Go ahead, man. I don't care.
I am. I was trying to put the fires out, and the guy called Yoda a uh, womanizer. I don't know, something stupid. And
Called me a
Yoda came on,
misogynist.
a misogynist.
Yeah.
And Yoda came on,
By
and
the
he
way,
just blew.
let me just add context to that. This was why he called me misogynist, because I pointed out that some women get injections to make their lips bigger. Anyone categorize that as misogyny?
No,
Echoes,
I
exactly.
can't. Sorry, I can't see where that. Yeah, no, no.
I was pointing
No,
out a
okay, so
fact. That was almost as benign as saying the sun rises in the east. It's just a fact.
Right.
right, okay, I'm sorry. So the comments are saying Yoda, you were MAGA. No, no, Yoda was not MAGA. He attacked this guy like the guy was MAGA. This is what I'm trying to say. But
Yes.
anyway, um, so I got rid of both of them. Right. I just because I didn't want it on the live. We were having a good time, and that guy was the biggest piece of shit that we ever came across, right? So I got rid of him. I got rid of Yoda at the same time. Yoda and I crossed paths again on another live, and we reconnected. And I got up on a panel. This goes to his big heart. I got up on a panel, and Yoda was in the comments saying, "Hey, trucker, how are you?" I'm like, "Well, shit," because he sent me a message saying, "Bye, Felicia." Right. But when I got on the panel, he was like, "Hey, trucker, how are you?" So I apologized to Yoda in front of everybody because what happened was in front of everybody. And then I asked Mr. Bigheart, "Can we follow each other again?" And Yoda says, real simple, yes. And that was it. So we reconnected, and this just goes to show that he has a big heart, and some people can be misconstrued as something that they're not. But I do want to say this. When he first came on, I gave him the biggest praise that I could give to anybody because I was so
Yeah, your
proud
intro
and
was pretty
privileged.
spectacular. That's why I was confused when I got booted. But here's
Well, because
here's
I
the
was,
thing. I first of all, thank you very much for sharing that. I appreciate it. I
yes,
particularly appreciate the sentiment behind that story. But I feel like Eminem. I am whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, why would you say I am? Like, here's the
right.
thing. Not everybody likes me, right? Not everybody liked Michael Jackson. So why the fuck would I think everybody should like me, right? And I get that. I get that the moment that you meet me very often is going to define me, right? So I actually made a post about that regarding my lives. What did I say earlier?
Well, we're two peas in the pod because I appreciate the person that you are, and that's why I'm here.
Thank you. This is what I said. I said, my live shows are completely schizo. Depending on when you drop in, you'll decide that my live shows are about politics, MAGA hats, relationships, ghetto life, my sordid love life, personal development, a talent competition, or a comedy show, right? And that's what it's going to be. It's sort of like the story, the metaphorical story about three blind men all touching an elephant and asking, and asked to describe what an elephant is. And one guy holding on to the elephant's leg said, "An elephant is like a tree trunk." Another guy holding on, or I think touching the elephant's side, said, "Oh no, he was holding on to the elephant's tail," and he says, "An elephant is like a rope." And then the other guy was holding his trunk, and he said, "An elephant's like a snake." Right. So obviously, an elephant isn't like either of those things or any of those things, but it's all about perception and the available information you have. So there are some people that are going to meet me when I'm screaming at a MAGA hat. Right. And and I have no problem with that person coming away with that motherfucker's insane, right? Because that's the information that they had. And then there are people that are going to come in while I'm telling a filthy joke and going, that motherfucker's filthy, right? I get that. Or I'm talking about politics and go, wow, that motherfucker's critical of all politicians, but whatever it is. Or that dude hates America. Like whatever they think I am, generally it's based on the information that they have in that moment. So that's fine. It's only the people, like any relationship, exposure over time is what helps you learn all the different layers and all the different sensibilities of people. That's why I love the fact that people come here night after night. And that also lends itself to what I was saying earlier. We literally are getting to know each other, and we're not necessarily going to learn everything about each other, but we're going to get a sense of one another. And I just find that to be a beautiful thing.
Right. So I just want to say thank you for accepting my apology. And I was
Of
wrong in
course.
that situation. And I knew, and the next day it was kind of eating at me. And I'm like, I've got to find this guy and I got to apologize to him. So, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you followed up on that. And you have made wonderful contributions to my live shows, and you seem like a decent person. And again, I didn't want to judge you based on one piece of information.
Right. So is that why you got back at me last Saturday?
No, it's just I love fucking with people.
I know it. I know it.
It's a hobby
I'm
for
just
me.
fucking with you. I know it. But you want to talk about the concussion or no? I know you're
if
getting ready
you
to run
if
late.
you want to talk about it, but before we move on to that, anybody else have any other feedback about anything? And a hush falls over the crowd.
Yeah, right.
I was gonna say I like the way you explain things and come
Thank you.
at like how you dug into the reasoning why I was saying things or thinking the way I was thinking, because like a lot of times, and I don't know if everybody has this problem, but I struggle with like what's putting myself in the place of other people and like understanding other people, so I interpret what I think they're saying, and then it's almost always wrong. um
Yeah. No,
Different than
that's a
what they
fair
meant,
point.
so
That's a fair point.
it's
I
hard.
accidentally got good at that because of sales. Because, you know, when this entire conversation that we've had tonight, you can boil it down to the idea that I was trying to sell you on a concept. The Jack and Jill concept, the love you versus like you concept. So I have 41 years of experience explaining things and understanding the other person's perspective. So that's why I'm good at it. It's because I've been doing it a really long fucking time, and not casually. I was doing it to put food on my table. So I had to get really good at it. And as a result, it lends itself to coaching and to, podcasting and to, live shows and that kind of thing. So that's what you're witnessing is the culmination of 41 years of experience.
But also that you're not one-sided. Like you could have people and right off the bat you're like, oh, he's gonna quote have their back, right? But no, you're gonna be neutral and you're gonna say what you know from your experience, what is the right thing to say. You've got no pride or ego behind it. You're like, well, maybe it was this, maybe it was that. You're not going to be like a people pleaser and come out and be like, I'm going to tell you exactly what you want to hear to make you feel comfortable about life and the shitty decisions that you've made about your life, and everything's going to be okay. You're like, no.
Yeah.
There's, and that's I think that people do respect that because
Oh,
it
yeah.
shows no biasism.
Yeah. Here's what happens when you surround yourself with yes men. You get Donnie Dump.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I've told my friends, all of my friends, in individual conversations, if you don't tell me the truth, you are worthless to me. If you hold something back because you think it'll hurt my feelings, you're insulting me, right? Whatever it is, if I say something or do something that you either don't agree with, or you think is wrong, or you think is fucked up, or what the fuck ever, I need you to tell me that. I need you, like, I'm going to give you a real life example because, I am as consistent as a beam of light about the shit that I say. When my son was about 9 years old, we had a little ritual. He was living with his mother at the time. I would stop by like 2 or 3 days a week at her place to play with him and say hello and all that. And that was driven by two things. Number one, I'm your father, so this is what I'm going to do. Number two, I don't ever want you thinking some other dude is your father, so fuck that. And on the weekends when I would pick him up, naturally, like everybody else, I had chores to do and errands to run and all that stuff. So he was always incorporated in those things. And we had a ritual on laundry day, which was Sundays, where we'd get up, we'd go do laundry, and then we'd go get breakfast. And at that time, it was Dunkin' and Donuts because that's all I could afford. And so, how old was I at the time? I was 30 at this time, and broke as shit, right? And I literally would have to like count change to be prepared for what we were going to buy, and we ordered the same thing every week, right? It was some kind of egg sandwich and with a coffee. But I didn't want to give him coffee, so I gave him hot chocolate, which of course is not better, but I thought it was. So we go to Dunkin' Donuts, we order it, and the guy gives me a figure that was more than every other time I went there. And I was like, why is it more suddenly? Did the prices go up? He was like, well, you substituted hot chocolate, for coffee. And I was like, yeah, I do that every week. Like, why are you charging me more? You know, and it wound up in a short argument. Everything settled down. We had our food. And then as we were walking out, my son turned to me and said, Dad, you were a real jerk in there. And I looked at him and I said, you're right. And let me tell you why. In that moment, when he said you were a real jerk in there, I'm actually feeling it now. I'm getting a little goosebumpy and a little emotional about it. I was proud of myself. My voice was beaten out of me as a child. And I wanted to give my son a voice. And that was the evidence that I succeeded. Because that's what I want from the people that love me. Tell me the truth. Always.
Can I make you laugh for a second?
Always.
Okay. So I'm honest all the time, every time, because I am a horrible liar. Never been able to do it ever. My face immediately tells you. So, I was with my friend and she was talking to me about her life and, oh, this isn't how I wanted it. This isn't how I wanted it. And I was like, no, but this is good. You're good. You're good. She was like, well, I wanted to be married. And I was like, you're getting married. And she's like, well, I wanted to have kids. I was like, no. And she goes, wait, but and I said, no, no, because we've talked about it before. You and I are not kid people, right? That's not what we do. And we know why, and there's reasons. And she was like, yeah, I know, but like I'm supposed to have kids. And I said, no. And she looked at me and she dropped her mouth open and she goes, fuck you, Jenny. And then she started laughing and I was like, sorry, do you want the truth or do you want to feel better? Like, you need to tell me which
So
one.
it sounds like you're just as good a coach as I am.
I can be, but it's hard for myself.
Well, that's why there's that saying, physician, heal thyself, right? That's why doctors go to doctors. That's why psychiatrists go to psychiatrists. The reason why
Hmm.
we can't coach ourselves is because we can't be the observed and the observer at the same time. And let's say hello to Brian. How you doing, Brian?
Pretty good. How are you tonight?
I am wonderful. I am better now than I was even 2 hours and 15 minutes ago, and I was doing great then. But this live has invigorated me in more ways than I could have imagined.
Well, I've seen you. You and I got into a conversation 2 or 3 months ago, and it was disturbing when I got off with you. I like you a lot. I think you come from a good place. But what was disturbing to me about some of the things that you said is how sometimes me, you, all of us can be blinded by our own dogma, right? And it's just like you just said just now. It's why a doctor goes to another doctor. He doesn't try to self-diagnose and what have you. And what I'm talking about specifically, there was a story, kind of an anecdotal story that you were sharing with me about a white friend of yours that you had become very, very close to, even the whole family. And for some reason, the guy that was your age had gone out of town, but you were still close with the family, and you would go over there for breakfast, and the dad would cook you breakfast and what have you. And fast forward from that, you made mention like there was nothing, there were no spidey senses going off that there was any kind of indication of racism in the household. And fast forward, when a couple of calendar pages flew off the wall, somehow or another, me and the sister of my friend and the daughter of my father had gotten together. We'd gotten together and we'd slept together. And you said that somehow or another the dad had found out, maybe through the grapevine, had found out about it, however it happens, like the truth always comes out. And you said that, you know what, I never thought I'd see this from this guy, but he changed. He changed in the way that he looked at me. He changed in the way that he interacted with me. Now, I don't know how much of that is actually true and how much of it is your perception, because
Well, he didn't talk
you
to me for
do
2 weeks, so he made it very clear. But you're
right.
right. My
But
perception still plays a role in this. Absolutely.
that it was a race thing that was
Hmm.
hidden, that it
Right.
was a covert race thing, and now it's coming out. And I got off. I got somehow or another. I had stuff to do, and I bounced. And I got off and I was thinking, like, everything that you said, nothing was indicative of this guy being racist before this happened. Nothing ever happened between you and his son. I mean, you guys were asshole buddies. And I'm not sure that you really were sensitive to how much from a dad, from a 73-year-old dad with two
Hmm.
daughters. I don't care if the guy is white, I don't care if the guy is black. Somehow or another, I would have been expecting, because I'm a real guy, I'd come right up to you and say, hey, look, can you give me 5 minutes of your time? I'd like to share something with me. It has to do with your daughter. And there's some feelings that I think are growing before the act. But the fact that you guys just did it and you didn't come to him, the father of the daughter that you were involved with, and just say, something's been bothering me. Can we step outside by the garage for a few minutes? Can you give me a couple of minutes? I got something I want to level set with you. I want to unburden myself, and then tell him what happened. And the fact that maybe you didn't have anything to do with what color you were, but maybe that he was disappointed. I mean, he seems like a really the family seems like an upstanding family, and maybe he was having the same feeling toward you, kind of a presuppositive feeling that, I never would have thought you would have done that within the confines of this family without talking to me first. Number one, I wouldn't have been against it. If you guys have got feelings for each other, you know that we're not racist in this underneath this roof. And if you guys fall in love with each other, or you find uh, uh, an opportunity to get close and get intimate, I would have gone ahead and rolled out the red carpet for you. So I think you were kind of quick to judge him based on how you prefaced your relationship with that family and what have you, and that the way that he reacted post the affair that you had with his daughter was more indicative, maybe, in him being hurt that you didn't come to him first, or at least shortly after, and just say, "Look, I gotta clear the air with you.
Right.
This is
Well,
bothering me."
the reason why, even though everything you said is possible, the reason why I think it's not likely is that the only reason I didn't talk to him is because she asked me to keep it secret. But also I was not quite 22 when we started dating. We were together over 4 years, but I was 22 and he was probably in his 50s at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So the burden was on him to manage his emotions. And since he never ever told me what that was about, then I had to surmise. Because if it was what you said, he could have easily articulated that to me, but he never did. Because who's going to say to someone, I don't like the fact that you're banging my daughter because I don't like brown people?
Yeah, I wouldn't be so quick to indict him, though. I mean,
Well, since
everything.
I lived it and I know what happened, I'm comfortable assessing the situation the way I have. I'm not claiming
Right,
that there's no other possibilities, but I don't even give a fuck at this point.
right,
This happened a long time ago. This
right,
is 39 years ago at this point.
right. Well, you offered the invitation,
Yeah, no,
and I
I
want.
appreciate that you aired that out. By the way, I'm absolutely stunned that you remembered so many details. I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, because I immediately hit the replay button in the car. Like there was something like I owned it, and I in the car when I was waiting for the light to change from the red back to the green, would I have had an issue because he's black if he slept with one of my daughters? And absolutely not. I mean, I went through that
I mean,
checklist.
I believe that for you. I just don't believe that for him.
Yeah. Well, you knew them. I didn't. Those were the thoughts that I had, and just from a third party perspective, I
Yeah,
appreciate that you gave me the invitation to come
yeah,
up
yeah,
because
and I appreciate that
I'm
feedback.
good with that. Cool.
Good stuff. All right, we are almost at 3 hours, so this is now like this is my lives are turning into fucking part-time jobs. I'm loving it. Anybody else got anything?
I have a random fun fact that happened to me today.
I love
If you
random
will.
fun facts.
Okay, so I was out marking some underground utilities today, and an older gentleman walked up to me and he said, "Hey, traffic man, how's it going?" And I
Uh,
about shit my pants. And I was like, uh, it's going good. And he looks at me, he goes, "Hey, yeah, we have this street light that's out over here." And I said, "Sir, I have to ask you, why did you call me traffic man?" And he said, "Oh, well, you're in a bucket truck and you work for the traffic signal department. That's why I called you that."
right.
And at that moment, I was like, okay, good. This man is not going to come at me for any of my videos or
Yeah.
comments that I may have made on social media.
Your first thought was like, call the wife and say, we got to get it the fuck out of town.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
They
absolutely.
found us.
Oh no. Oh
Yeah, I've
goodness.
actually I've actually been recognized for a variety of reasons. Because I used to do a lot of public speaking, and sometimes I was on television a couple times too for like interviews and shit, and people would randomly walk up to me and we're like, "Oh, I saw you 2 years ago at such and such place," and just like tonight, they would fucking recount what I said, and I was like, you've kept some goofy shit that I said in your head for 2 fucking years? That's amazing. But yeah, that's always like such a thrill for me when it happens.
Sure.
Now it's less likely to happen since I don't go anywhere, but yeah, it's always a very odd feeling. Like especially when I was working in New York City, since I was so heavily involved in like so much networking, like usually morning and night in between my job, I would be at events and stuff, and I was leading events, and I was doing all sorts of shit. I was part of the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce as a chair of one of their committees and all this shit. So it was like I'd walk around and like people would recognize me. It was and that's like a thimble full of the experience that like a real celebrity would have. And I'd be like, how do they even manage this? Because it's a weird feeling.
Yeah. And and
Big
and
difference. Big difference, though. Most people out here in the cheap seats really have lost respect for a lot of celebrities and think mostly that they're full of shit. On the other hand, your presence is one where the first box that I check, I'm going to pay attention to this guy. There's something here. There's credibility. There's authentic. I'm going to learn something if I listen to this guy long enough. And so when you walk away and something that happened in the interaction creates some cognitive dissonance because of your presence, you replay it and just say, why do I have that takeaway from that? Why do I have that? And you replay it and you remember it. And every time that I've seen your face on here 20 or 30 times since then, I've thought of coming up, and then I said, nah, you know what? I'm going to let sleeping dogs lay. I don't want to put this in this guy's face again. He covered it the best he could until you gave the invitation tonight. And then I've said, okay, Johnny bar the door, light the candles and the cake. I'm going up. And because I wanted to, because I dig you every time I see your face on here,
I
and I wanted
appreciate
to
that.
clear with you.
No, that's wonderful feedback. One of the things I was thinking about how like I say something and later you think about it, I'm like, oh, I'm a time release asshole. I like that idea. Good stuff. All right, let's wrap it up, folks. We'll let's see who's I don't know what direction to go in. Let's just I'll go random. Jennifer, you have any final thoughts?
Um, I appreciate you and other people in the comments because of the way that you are able to make me break down and think about why I do something or think something, and it helps me unravel the cause and the relationship that I have to it. So once I understand something, I can do what I need to do with it, throw it away, change it, whatever.
Yeah.
So very helpful. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. And you reminded me that I have a new channel. There's no videos on it yet. I'm going to start filling it up with content, but it's Coach.Yoddah. Coach, a period, and then Yoddah. So if you all would follow me, that would be great if you think there'd be any value to that. Let's go to Autumn. Final thoughts. Autumn, are you still hanging with us? I think you're muted. If you're trying to talk, you might have to unmute yourself. Maybe not.
I can
Come back.
go. I can go if you want.
Okay, Blue, fire away.
She might have fell asleep.
That's possible.
So I love your topics. I love your questions because it's not abrasive. Once you get to understand Yoda, when he's asking questions, he's trying to understand, but he might also already understand, and he's trying to ask it in the form of a question so that you answer it, so that you come up with the answer yourself. And so I respect that tactic because it's incredibly empowering to the person he's communicating with. I was deeply disturbed on Saturday right when we were ending that live, and it was such a beautiful live, and a comment came through. And I don't think most people
Oh
caught it, but I
no, I screenshotted it. Yep.
and I screenshotted it and I reported it, and of course the report came back as it was, like we get flagged for so many things, and something like that. So there, oh, I'm losing my train of thought because I'm riding on a little emotion there. But my point is that for someone to dedicate a couple hours a day to help people with so much hate right now in the world, and those reminders like what you saw, traffic, and I saw, and I hope no one else did, but I know Yoda did because his face changed. It broke my fucking heart, but he still came back today, and he didn't bring it up, and he moved forward. And I think what he's seen his whole life and has developed thick skin and still provides a safe space to help us all connect, unite, and see eye to eye and not feel crazy and just keep our sanity in check during these hard times. Situations like that remind me how weak I am because I went to great lengths to find this person because I wanted to wring their fucking neck. And Yoda still comes back.
Well, so let
Doesn't
me
say
pause you on
anything.
there so I don't get more credit than I deserve on that. I assume I know what comment you're talking about, but I didn't read the comment. What I saw was the beginning of it, and I caught the tone of it right away and realized I wasn't interested in that tone, so I didn't finish reading it. So it's not that I did this amazing thing of overcoming adversity. I just literally didn't read it.
And a lot of times I might get emails that from family and we could go back and forth for days, but I tell my sister Diana, I skim it because I don't want to read it because it will scar me. And I want it to come in one ear or in my eyes and out the other eye or out the other ear. I don't want it to sit down in my heart. And so I respect that. That's what you did. But the fact that you have to do that and you have to, it broke me because your intention is so good. And it reminds me how much hatred is out there. and you still come back with a smile on your face and you're still trying to help us all. And I want you to know that I'm glad you didn't read it if you didn't, but it does exist, but you still fighting through it because you've experienced it way more than most of us who might not have the same melanin in our skin or whatever the hell it is. I deeply respect you.
Thank you. I
And I hope
appreciate that.
other people that come in can see that light. And if other haters come in, if they do it again, I'm going to hunt you down. And Yoda probably will delete it before he's read it because he's a bigger man than I am.
Well, I
So
mean, again, that was this time. I got a nastygram probably from the same individual. He tried to block me, but didn't realize that his username was still showing. I posted about it. I posted a video of it because TikTok has now taken their ability to message away. Oh, I love it.
keep up the
Anyway,
good
thank you
work.
so much for
You're a
being
good
here and
man.
for all your great feedback. I appreciate it.
Sweet dreams and respect.
All right. Let's take another crack at this. Autumn, are you there? 3, 2, 1. Probably not. That happens. All right. Let me go up to Brian. Brian, any final thoughts?
Yeah, just again, one more tip of the hat of gratitude for letting me come up and level set with you, and to remind you, kind of in a short, truncated way, of what that lady was just saying. You're a quality dude doing quality stuff, living a quality life. That's all I got.
Thank you, man. That means a lot to me. It really does. Thank you. Have a great night.
Okay, later.
All right. And Trucker, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I've got a couple, but I'll make it brief.
Take your time, man. Air them out.
Yeah, yeah. I saw the comment, um, and I did the same thing that I do on my lives when I get the same comments. I just ignored it, right? Because what he eats doesn't make me shit, right? I can't control your emotions, but I can control mine. So when I saw that, it reminded me of where I grew up. And I'm thinking, damn, sh- shit hasn't changed. But then we're so used to it, we just brush it to the side and we move on and we continue, right? So your live Saturday night reinvigorated me to go back to my lives on Thursday nights because I can't tell you how many messages I get to where there's like, Trucker, we really miss your lives. You would bring peace and serenity and blah, 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 and we can get away from all the dumb shit. But I stopped doing them because of the dumb shit, right? People's feelings that get involved and whatever else. So after that, I decided, hey, I'm going back. And I'm going back because of what your platform is. Not to invade on your platform, but our platforms are different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like mine's are Thursday at 8:30. We do some crazy shit, but yours is more structured and savvy and just better, right? Mine is just it's a hodgepodge, but I deal with the same shit, right? That's why I have to have 7 or 8 moderators to look at what's being said to just filter those and get rid of them. We
Yeah.
shouldn't
Yeah.
have
I've
to
never
do
had a
that.
moderator, and as the live grows, I'm sure I'll do that, but I haven't had one
Yeah,
yet. But by the way, I'll tell you my secret. Just just this overarching attitude that I have toward this stuff. And it has to do with a something I read a long time ago. I think it might have been Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. It was something to do with like hatred and resentment. And he said it's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to drop. You know, it only corrodes the vessel, right? So these goofy people can say whatever they want to me because they're carrying that shit. I'm not. I'm
exactly.
not taking that on. When someone calls me the N-word or whatever other fucking goofy 5-year-old logic that they can hurl at me, it's never going to bother me because that's their problem. Literally. They're holding on to that hatred, not me. And they're never
Yep.
going to get that shit on me.
No, that's exactly the way I view it. I'm not as smart as you, but excuse me, that's the way I view it. I'm like, hey, listen, that's your burden to carry, not mine. I'm going to continue on with my day and move on. So I
Sounds like
appreciate.
you're exactly as smart as me.
Well, I mean, I underplay myself a lot, but I just ignore it. You know, I try to live above the fray and I just move on. You know what I mean? Um, but I do appreciate you allowing me to come back on your lives because I learn a lot, and that's why I come back night after night because I'm very informative. If I can't learn something from you, I don't want to be there. I got a lot of people asking, Trucker, where are you? Where are you? Well, I'm not learning anything except for hate. I don't want that. I've lived that. I don't need that. I grew up in Helena, Arkansas. I want to learn something different. So that's why I come back to your lives day after day. So
Thank you,
I
man.
just like to
That's
say thank you.
an immense compliment. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And have a great night. I hope you keep coming back, man.
Yep, no problem. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, it's gotta be all about intention, man. Like uh, as much as there's horrendous shit that goes on each and every minute of each and every day, I firmly believe that it is outweighed and outnumbered by multitudes of thousands by the beautiful, wonderful, loving, caring, supportive things that people do for one another every single day and don't even think about it. Every time you smile at someone, every time you hug someone, every time you say you're proud of someone, you help somebody with their groceries, whatever the fuck it is, the billions of kind things that will never be reported on the news, that's what's really going on. This little snapshot that we get on social media or on mainstream news, that's not the world, man. That's not the world. If what they were telling us was the reality of the world, every time you stepped out of your dwelling, there would be corpses all around you from the sheer carnage that they're reporting as real life. It's part of life. But we cooperate. That, as a matter of fact, that is the key to the survival of our species, is the fact that we cooperate as well as we do. Think about it. Your life is enhanced and facilitated in some cases by a horde of strangers that you will likely never meet. The people that deliver your food, the people that drive you places, the people that operate the elevator in your place or the escalator, all of these different things, the electricity that runs to your place. Think about when you're on the highway driving. Why aren't there just constant pileups of cars? Because everyone is cooperating. Everyone is out there saying, we're going to do the best that we can to make sure that everybody gets to where they're going. How fucking beautiful is that? But what they want to tell us is a complete different story. I just have decided not to believe that story and to really think about what life really is. And that to me is what life really is. Billions of us cooperating every single day, being kind, being helpful, being positive. Yeah, the other stuff is going on. Yeah, man's inhumanity to man is always going on. But that is a tiny fraction of our reality. That's how I stay happy. That's how I stay grateful, because I know what the truth is. I know what the truth is. I don't believe the hype. I don't believe what they're presenting me. I know that the model that's making $100,000 a month on Instagram has to walk around racked with pain because of all of the surgeries that she's done to make herself appealing in the most unnatural way possible. I don't count other people's money, and I don't assume that other people's money makes them happier or better than me in any way, shape, or form. They tried to tell me, they tried to sell me that story too. American society sold all of us the same story. I just decided not to believe it. Traffic Man, any final thoughts, my friend?
Yes, sir. And to build on what you were saying, this past weekend, the Vice President of the United States personally attacked my community. In a speech, he actually called out my town as one of the terrible places to live in Ohio because of all of the violence and crime that allegedly happens in my town. And I will give News Channel 5 out of Cleveland some credit on this because they came down and they spoke to people of the community, and every single person, it didn't matter who they were, where they came from, was like, that man is full of shit. Our community, we care about each other. Yes. Do we have some trials and tribulations through life? Absolutely, as any other community does. But for that man to stand up in front of that podium and espouse the incorrect information that he did, and as a matter of fact, I was actually part of that news coverage because I ended up, I was hugging one of my coworkers, and I was caught on film hugging one of my coworkers, and I made it to the news, but it was, or one of my old he retired, but
And the
but
Chiron
that's just
said, typical YT privileged male
yeah,
abuses his
exactly right.
coworker.
Yeah, exactly right. But no, but as the one of the local business owners was kind of given a monologue about how he cares for the community and the outreach programs and all that, they played that video of me hugging my ex coworker, and that's who we are, and I mean in every community. I mean, really, when we break it down to bare bones, that's who most of our communities
That's who
are.
humans are, man. That's who
Correct.
humans are.
I yes.
See, I heard that your area was kind of fucked up, but I just assume it was because you live there.
Well, I mean, I do mess a lot of things up, but it's easier to the problem is it's easier to uh point out all of the bad things than it is to point out
Yeah.
all of the good things,
Yeah.
so.
Well, because it's what I've boiled it down to is a metaphor of size versus impact, right?
Mhm.
We're aware of all the beautiful things, but the negative things have more of an impact on us, so we tend to notice them. And we tend to talk about them and remember them and try to work through them. And what I do is the reverse. I do my best to diminish those things and focus on the miles long list of wonderful things. And it's just how I manage my emotions, and it works for me.
Sure.
So that's what we got to do. We got to just stop believing the hype, man. That's all I say.
Absolutely.
So with that, my friend,
Absolutely.
thank you so much for joining. It's always a pleasure to
Yes,
have
sir.
you as part of my lives. You absolutely make them better. So
Thank you.
hopefully, with any luck, we'll be back tomorrow.
All right. You have a good night, sir.
All right. Folks, this has been another beautiful experience. I mean, I don't know if there's a ceiling to this. Every time I come away from one of these lives, I think, wow, this is as good as it gets. And then it somehow gets better. So I'm just going to abandon that limiting thought and just embrace the fact that this can be a really amazing experience. And it is for me. And from the feedback you're giving you, it has value to you. And that is everything to me. My main motivator in life is to inspire people. And when you give me feedback that indicates that I'm getting that done, it's very validating and really, really beautiful. So thank you all for that. Thank you for your time, for your attention, for tapping, for liking, for gifting, for sharing. And as always, you've given me the most important thing you have, which is your time. And I just will never take that for granted. So, as always, peace, love, and granola. Talk to you soon.